So we've got this infinity thing here. I was just trying to figure out, if you look here, last time I streamed from my bedroom, I used my old XP computer. Now the software is outdated, but no brothers tonight, just me. He's asleep. Anyway, the software is outdated, but the hardware still works. My other computer up here has the opposite problem. Windows 10, it's a modern computer, but I guess as I spilled beer on it, it doesn't work very well. So I'm able to stream in my bedroom through my obsolete XP computer. But I was trying to work, as I listened to that last stream, and the volume was like all over the place. The gain, the distortion. So I adjusted here, but I wanted to pull up. Can we pull it up? This is the volume for, hold on a minute. Give me a sec. Let's see what I can do here. And minimize this. It's right here. If you look here, we can see this. Sound recording. So you got this, audio. The microphone is this Yeti mic. Volume. I don't want it too high or too low. I remember last stream, it was super, super duper loud. So like distorted loud. So if anyone is listening, the one or two people who are here, is this overly distorted? Should I go up to here? Should I go down to here? What's like the sweet spot? Because I can't hear. To me, it sounds fine in real time, but then I go back and I listen and I think, oh, Jesus. So, Oh, so I don't want to steal your thunder, man. If you're streaming, that's cool. Okay, sounds fine. Okay. I might dick around, play around with it a little bit, because it sounded like the last stream I did in my bedroom using this old XP computer, there was no lagging. It all transferred fine, but the volume was super off. I guess because I don't really use the XP computer too often, so the volume settings might have been like super whacked, for lack of a better term, because I haven't used it in so long. And yes, what happened a little while ago, I'm sitting here drinking my beer. I looked right over here. I'll show you. Hold on. Okay, here's. That's filthy. Right down there, a little mousey came in and went out. So I guess I got mice, rodents. I got another problem to deal with. Wonderful. God damn. All right. There we go. Well, if it sounds fine, that's good for me. Good enough for me, as long as it sounds fine. I won't be at this too long, but I figured, what the hell? I kind of wait. Today was Saturday. Now it's Sunday morning. I wasted this day. I'm wasting time. It's like I'm not getting things done. I know intellectually I should be getting things done, but I'm not. I guess I just wanted to talk to someone for like half an hour before, Geez, my existence. But I'm glad you're awake, Aiden. I guess you have to go back to work. Wait, there's no work tomorrow? Maybe I can listen to myself. I'm going to test myself. It's not really an art. It's disabling. It's a handicap. Okay, I'm listening to myself here. It doesn't sound too. Hello. You go back to work January 1st. That's okay. I wonder if I can share where my volume. Maybe I can share where my volume is currently. Maybe I can share that. Hold on. This is for me. This is really for me more so than anyone else. Okay, so we can see this. Now I have it here, which hopefully sounds fine. if I put it up here, is it going to sound ridiculous, or is this just, overridden? All right, it sounds a bit louder, but not terrible. I'll put this back down. All right. Okay. All right. So I turned down the gain almost to nothing. Well, if it's too low, just tell me. If it's too low, just tell me. Not like this is going to be like a major stream. It's an odd hour for odd people. It's just you and me, my Canadian friend. We're in the same time zone, so it's almost 2:30 in the morning for both of us. You in Ontario, me in New Jersey. Well, that's good. So, are you stream? I don't want to. If you want to go stream. I'll come watch it. I just figured let me come on, dick around for like 20 minutes. I want to stream for the end of the year. I'm not sure how much streaming I'm going to be doing next year. I want to get back to doing videos and shit, but it's easier. It's not like when you're a procrastinator like I am. Oh, okay. What movie did you watch? What movie? What movie? Yeah. Okay. My super ex-girlfriend. Yeah. Well, it's like I can just sit here in front of a blank screen for fun. It's just otherwise I just be browsing internet, so you can watch me browse the internet. I thought I'd come on, say hi, pop in, pop out. I'm just so happy I can stream from my room. It's not, even though it's dated software, the hardware is fine. My Lenovo XP computer streams great. It's this other HP one that's a piece of shit because I can put new I guess I can put some new memory in it, but it just seems I think I might have damaged something. It runs, but not well. That reminds me of a movie I saw when I was, I think, a teenager, early 20s. What was that movie? It's like, oh God, it'll come to me. That one chick from Party of Five, and that dude from There's Something About Mary, and that hot chick who later married Charlie Sheen. They were all in the swimming pool. It was exciting. But then Bill Murray showed up, and now it's like, yes, this movie is complete. It was called Wild Things. I don't want to look it up. What were their names? I think it was the guy from Something About Mary, and Nev Campbell from Party of Five, and what the hell is that blonde bitch who married Charlie Sheen? Can't remember her name now. And then Bill Murray showed up in it. So you guys can just watch me browse the internet while you do whatever. Yeah, I guess I could try to do that. I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna get a copyright strike if I watch some video or something. You know, you're reading my mind right now. It's just beer, but I'm thinking that might be the next step. Twisted tea. Good thinking. Good thinking. What about you? You drinking anything? No, right? I think it's just a Budweiser. Just having a Budweiser right now. What about you? You drink or you're not a drinker? Wow. When you were 21, you gave up drinking. When most people start drinking, you quit. Wow. Are you on any medication? Have you on any medication? You know, for your. What are some of the medicines you're on? Why don't you share? What are some of the medications you take? Okay, one. That should be easy. What's the one medication you take? Okay, palperidone. Why don't we look up some palperidone? Paliperidone. Well, my obsolete browser might not allow it, but oh well. Okay, here we go. Yes, I see. Yeah, paliperidone is used to treat the symptoms of psychotic mental disorders, including schizophrenia. It may also be used alone or together with other medicines to treat patients with schizoaffective disorder. But should not be used to treat behavioral problems in older adult patients who have dementia. Okay. So it's an antipsychotic. Okay. No, that's very common. There's a generic name, like whatever the formula is, and there are the branding names that they sell it under in different places. So you have the generic name, generic, and then you have like what's it called? There's the generic and there's the brand name. You might have multiple brand names. How often you take? You take it once a day, twice a day, three times a day, and what does it do? It keeps the voices from. It keeps you calm, or it's nice getting to know Aiden. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's right. Now I remember you get injections. That's right. So once a month, you get this injected, right? It's an injection. Okay, that's right. Well, I'm glad you not only found it, but you realize how it helps you. Because I know there are some schizophrenics. I've heard this. There are some schizophrenics who actually like hearing the voices. Like the medicine works, but they don't want it to work. It works too well. They want to keep hearing the voices, so they stop taking their meds deliberately because they want to hear the voices. I'm glad your medicine works and you're committed to it. So that's good. All right, I got two people. So I've never heard of an overload of dopamine. I guess it could happen. I've never heard of that. Serotonin dopamine overload. Interesting. That's true. I'm glad I'm glad you have the wherewithal to realize. And what of me? I don't know why I can't just get myself focused. I just want I'm agoraphobic. I want to just hide in my room all day. I know I can't keep living like this, but I'm glad you found something that works for you, Aiden. I'm glad. One thing I remember about Canada and the northern, like Minnesota, a lot of those malls are like indoor because I guess it's so cold so long. You have one of those malls that has like a roller coaster inside and maybe even a water park. I went to a mall once in Quebec almost 30 years ago, near to Quebec City, and it was the first time I've ever seen a roller coaster inside a mall. And I've been to the Mall of America in Minnesota, and I've been to the West Edmonton Mall in Edmonton. What's Lush? Is that some female product? I don't know. Is it some kind of perfume or something? Yeah, I've been there. They said it's the largest. It was okay. I think Mall of America, even if it's technically smaller, it was more impressive because Mall of America was meant to be. I'm not really a shopping mall person, but Mall of America was designed to be an attraction. The West Edmonton Mall just seems like a regular mall, only big. It's sort of an ordinary mall, just big. Well, you want to buy it for, and it's called Lush. It sounds like okay. Either that or a douchebag. I don't know. Who do you want to buy your sister? Sister, older, younger? Because you're 27? 20, how old are you again? You're late 20s. Is your sister older, younger? How old are you guys? And does your sister have any mental problems, or is she, as they say, quote unquote, normal? And I spent the day in bed. I couldn't get out of bed, but I bought these some time ago. These are sleep melatonin, L-theanine, and botanicals. I bought this over the counter here. I might take one. It's like a chewy, gummy thing. Let's see. There we go. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, so it runs in the family, I see. Anyway, I may take one of these in a moment. I'm not sure. It's supposed to be a sleep thing. I don't know. But that's what it has. Some of those actually might over-the-counter things here might be illegal in your country and vice versa. Like our FDA, Food and Drug Administration, might say this is illegal, whereas in Canada it's legal, and vice versa. There might be some supplements we can buy legally over the counter that you guys can't. Well, do you tell her yours? Does she know about your schizophrenia? Does she know about your monthly injection? Did you tell her, just a little bit. There we go. I see. My sister's the same way. I tell her all my problems. Well, we're no longer on speaking terms, but when we were, and she get tired of hearing it. But apparently, I learned later that she was on. What was she on? some kind of ADHD medication, some Adderall maybe. I'm like, whereas I'm like an open book. My sister was overly secretive, and now we don't talk anymore because of all the bullshit with our parents. And well, I think she's probably BPD or something like that. So I know what it's like, sisters and all that. I'm not sure if it's a good move or a bad move. I'm not sure if it does anything for my sister, but yeah, I do too. I got to make that video of all my diagnoses to have it official. My official diagnoses. Trying to wake up. About a year ago, I was in the hospital because I tore my inferior epigastric artery, and they prescribed me some of this. It's called tramadol. I don't know if you can see this. Tramadol. Maybe I'll take I'm not sure. I'm on the fence. Should I take a tramadol? Should I take one of those sleep pills? I'm not sure. Well, I wasn't diagnosed with ADHD until I was like in my 40s. In fact, when I was a kid, it was called ADD. And the stereotype was that you're all hyperactive. I was the good little boy who sat there. So they didn't, at the time it was believed that, you couldn't have ADD or ADHD and be calm and collected. Yeah, I've heard of Ritalin. That was a very popular drug for years, decades when I was a kid, Ritalin. I've heard of Concerta. That's like, have I taken Concerta? I think I've taken that. Is that like, it's a salt pill that's supposed to get you focused? Yeah, I think I know Concerta. Yes. Well, not just to sleep. It relaxes the anxiety. The anxiety, man. Right now, I seem like I got my shit together, but I don't. Or maybe I don't seem like I have it together. I don't know. Maybe I should do one last shave. It's wintertime. It's cold. There's ice and snow on the ground. But I'm thinking maybe I should do one last shave. Ring in the new year with a clean shave. Maybe I'll put that on camera if anyone wants to watch it. My beard's not as long as it was the last time, but yep, it's just you and me. This is meant to be like a low key under the. If you want to go. I don't care. It's just a low under the. This is like a no pressure, under the radar. Who gives a shit stream? That's fine. Feel free. I only have one shave video, but feel free to shave it. If I do a second, I don't care. But I only have one. My shave videos, plural, I only have one. I was dressed up like a monk shaving my beard. That's fine, man. That's cool. That's cool. Mi barba su barba. Barba is Spanish for beard. Mi barba su barba. Yeah. So what else is new? Anything? You don't have to patronize me. You don't have to keep me company. If you want to go. I'm just being. I'm existing. Ah, yes. Beppis, that's a good call. I forgot. I was gonna start the video off by saying hello, my starlings, but I was so worried about the microphone sound because the last stream I did in my bedroom using my XP computer, Like I said, I'll repeat myself one more time. Why not? The hardware is fine. Software is dated, but the hardware is fine. My second computer has Windows 10. Software is fine, but it keeps lagging. So this is my old XP computer. It does fine with the streaming part. Doesn't lag as far as I can tell. But that last video, I called it XP stream. Like the microphone, the gain was. So I was trying to adjust it. And Aiden here was helping me. He said, oh, you do take melatonin. Okay, because I got that here. I said it before. It's right here. I got this. I bought this some time ago. Melatonin with L-theanine. Okay. I thought you said that wasn't available over the counter in Canada. There's nothing to take over. If you guys want to go. There's nothing to see here, really. It's just me messing around. What the hell? But Beppe says hello and goodbye, Aiden. But sometimes a coffee house is the way to go. Well, you take your time, you wake up. I wanted to ask you, so you live on your own. You've got like what, a government, can I ask, is like a government assisted housing or, because you said you're on the Swedish equivalent of SSI. You want to get the equivalent of SSDI. One thing my brother and I noticed, you got a really nice kitchen table for someone who lives by yourself. That's a pretty big table. I guess that was a hand-me-down from somewhere. So, but if you want to wake up and start your day, go ahead. I'm winding down. I hate when it does it. It goes, this one camera, it's this camera. It does this on both computers. The camera goes blurry. I got to shake it to get it back into. How is the volume? Too loud, too soft? Let me try something else here. Hold on. See, I think this was part of the problem. I had the gain turned up on the microphone, but it's not a problem on the regular Windows 10 computers. They'll. Well, it's very nice. Well, then my next question, that family member, do they live in the area? Do you have to go see them for Christmas or New Year's? Wow, I wasn't expecting all this activity at 2:45 in the morning for me, but I guess it's 8:45 in the morning in Sweden and 12:45 in Arizona, so I guess it makes sense. Aiden and I are on the same time, same time in Jersey as Ontario, but yes, I'm live a bit. I'm really curious about testing the volume. How is the volume? Too loud, too soft? Because the last video I did in my bedroom was all amplified. I didn't like it. I was like, ew. That's right. That's right. What day is it today? Okay. You don't go back home till Tuesday. Okay. Yeah, you're still in California. My apologies. I forgot. You don't go back home to Arizona till Tuesday. And then you got to go to work the next day. I forgot. It's still, when you're unemployed, every day bleeds into the next. You don't leave your bedroom because you're all agoraphobic. One day bleeds into the next. But yes, you're in California. What did your father think of me? Well, you're very lucky that you had a place to stay and your family member lets you live there. And you don't have to live with your mother. You get to be on your own. You don't have to entertain for the holidays in theory. You're very lucky. I envy you. Well, I guess I'm kind of in the same boat now. I got to find a new place to live. This house, I think, is done for. But finding a place is hard. All my parents' shit is still here. Those fucking ingrates. But seriously, how is the volume? Don't make me ask you again. Share screen with the volume. I almost feel like, Aiden's a nice guy. He means well. But the whole, well, I'm going to go now. Someone else can take over. I don't want you people to feel like you have to patronize me. You don't have to be here if you don't want to. Go do what you want to do. It's like, it almost makes me feel like I'm some retard that you got to whose turn is it to watch the retard now? But anyway, I have the volume set here. Well, what happens? Hold on. If I can pull it up. Okay, now this is starting to screw up. Where the hell is it? There it is. Now, if I raise this, is this too loud? Is it too up there? What if or does it still sound the same? Does it still sound the same? What if I go like this? Is this? Remember that last stream was so amplified, so overly amplified. I'm trying to figure out what the problem was. What if I keep the amplification up but go back down to a lesser volume? How about this? How about this? I need some feedback. If you want to be here, the least you can do is give me some feedback. Right now, is it okay? Because I don't have this problem on the Windows 10 computers. I guess it like modulates, but XP didn't have that because XP wasn't anticipating streaming. So you got to manually adjust the microphone. This right now sounds good, or what are you referring to? Okay, we'll keep with this. Yeah, like I think Windows 10, Windows 11, they auto modulate. You don't have to do too much. XP is like, an archaic, now outdated, outmodish operating system. So you've got to manually change things. I heard that last stream I did in my room, and while there was no lagging, the video came out great. The sound was all amplified. It was disgusting. I was like, who wants to listen to this? So I'm trying to get like a good, pleasant volume. He's here. Oh, there he is. That's a whole long thing. All right, where do you want me to begin? I'll begin. I can start sharing. Why not? I mean, I've explained some of this, and I hate repeating myself, but here we go. So my father. Wait, did I miss a bunch of stuff? But before I get to the story of my parents, you're talking about Aiden. He was engaged by. I'm like, Aiden, if you want to go, go. Don't feel like you have to patronize me. I missed quite a bit. I got behind in chat here. I'm sorry. Can you get, is there some kind of government housing in Sweden? Some kind of, whatever your. Well, my father had a stroke in September of 2019. He was really fucked up. I managed to get him on Medicaid. Beppis can tell you the whole story. I managed to get him. I put him in a home. He was in a nursing home, and then they moved him on to assisted living. And he was there for about 5 years, from 2019 to 2024. Then they kicked him out. They wanted to kick him out in October of 23. I fought it. They kept him on. Then they turned off his payments in January of 24. And we didn't have a hearing until April. So I thought they would pay January through April, but they didn't. So that was a huge bill. They eventually kicked him out. He came back to this house. This is the house my brother and I moved back in here when my father had a stroke, because my mother wouldn't be able to afford this place by herself. At the time of my father's stroke, he was still working. He was, pushing 70, still driving a limousine. My mother was retired, and my mother was on Social Security. My father wasn't collecting yet. He had the stroke, and my mother would not have been able to afford this house. So my brother and I, that year, it was December of 19, our lease ended. We moved back in here January of, we actually moved in December of 19, ended our lease. So we've been back in this house to prop our mother up. And we did that for the past 4 years. Then my father got kicked out. I think it was April. We pulled him out, April of this year. We pulled him out. And then we managed to get them, find them this place, a senior friendly place. I'll take a slight break. I'm sorry. What did he say? Maybe I wasn't paying attention. You're talking about what, Aiden? I don't recall him saying much anything. Judge right off the bat. I think we're learning more about Cassandra than we are about Aiden right now. I'm not upset, but I'm curious. Speak your minds. I don't mind truth. I just don't like secretiveness, secrecy. What are you talking about? What did Aiden say or do? What are you getting at? Speak your mind. And, Aiden will stream video games and there'll be 0 viewers. So it's like, I don't understand what you mean. Conceptually, I don't understand. But I'm going back in time here. Yes, we're getting a story time. Where was I? Oh, another separate story. I continue the story about my parents, but I want to tell you. On Friday, well, I got a thing in the mail. I told you I reapplied for EBT, food stamps, SNAP, like just before Christmas. Christmas Day, post office is closed. December 26th, it was on Thursday. I got a thing in the mail saying it's amazing how quickly bureaucracy moves. It says, I got this letter saying, hi, you recently reapplied. You have a telephone interview on December 27th. This is on the 20th. So day after Christmas, the thing comes in the mail. I'm like, all right. So I was awake. They called me and it was a very brief call. I said, yeah, I live with my brother, but we're separate households and I'm not sure I'm going to pay rent anymore. I'm unemployed. They said, okay, we're going to send you some shit in the mail. I told them, I said, listen, I was a candidate for food stamps once before, but I went back to work. They said, that's fine. Don't worry. That's a different case. We're starting anew. So the ball might be rolling with me getting some EBT. At least I can get some temporary neat bucks in the meantime. No, I've been going at it for about 37 minutes now. Aiden was my one companion. He wanted to leave, but he didn't want to leave me alone. He felt bad for me, so he stayed with me. And then Beppis and Cassandra and Yuko came in, but Yuko disappeared. Where'd he go? I was telling the story of my parents, but he went bye-bye. That's a good, bureaucracy is slow, especially holiday time. I was impressed. It might be, my one saving grace, because I applied once before, I might have been, I'm just speculating, further up the list than someone starting out for the first time. Because I had already applied once before. My information was in the system, and then I went back to work, so I didn't qualify. It's possible that I was expedited or accelerated because I was already in the system. I'm just speculating, but, I'm always winding down, Matthew. Did you stream? Are you streaming? Am I stealing your thunder? Should we all go over and watch Matt stream? I don't want to steal anybody's thunder. That's a nice way to think of it, Beppis. And I am lucky. New Jersey is a very corrupt, fucked up state, a very heavily bureaucratic state. But sometimes that's actually the saving grace. If I lived in Arkansas or something, it would probably take months. Because Jersey is so bureaucratic and so punctual and so paperwork oriented, these things are usually, the one, there's a lot of negative living in a bureaucratic nightmare. But at least things are documented and quickly attended to. This isn't the South where we're all slow as shit. This is Jersey, Northeast. The bureaucratic, Right, that was your father. Oh, I thought you were talking about Aiden. Your father still thinks it's weird shit, but why does he think you watch? Well, I'm the oldest, so I think in some ways my brother didn't have the responsibility I did. It might be more pressureful if he had to do what I did. But I, as the oldest son, was understood I would take on this, take on that. So my brother is fairly, he's, there are times he says such brilliant things. I'm like, wow, I wish I had thought of that. But it's not his fault. I've kept him from not, I don't want to say sheltered, but all the shit, like when my father had a stroke, it fell on me first. He was a big help, but it was understood. I'm the firstborn. It's on me. So my brother, I guess, being the middle child, didn't have those sorts of pressures. I would speculate. So he's not as, he's not miserable. He lives his life and no one bothers him. No one tries to harm him. He's seen as like a harmless little shit. People like him. They don't want to be his friends. Girls don't want to date him, but they see him as like an okay person. They like him as a person, as an acquaintance. People can't even stand me as an acquaintance, Yuko. I'm streaming my NYE. What is that? Nye? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, DBF? Destroyed by Foids. Clarify yourself. Yes, Cassandra's still in California. She won't be going back to Arizona until Tuesday. I forgot that. I apologize. Yes, she's still in California. She made it clear she's on California time. She goes back home, I believe, on Tuesday, goes back to work Wednesday. So she is still in Orange County. That's correct. Yeah, that's all this is. It's a small, like I said, coffee house. Well, we do want to do a New Year's Eve. I want to do a New Year's Eve stream. I'm thinking, like, should I be streaming? Are these streams really going anywhere? Is it time to take a break from streaming, get back to videos? I've been thinking about it, but I figure since my autistic mind says, well, it's still 2024, so still do these Starling streams for my Starlings until the new year. So, yep, she's in OC. Ow, I'm sore. She's also in Orange County, California. Well, let me think. Midnight here. will be 4 o'clock in the afternoon or evening there. You should be awake. 12 midnight here, Jersey time, would be, I believe, 4 o'clock afternoon, late afternoon, early evening in Sydney. So why would you be asleep unless you've been sleeping, sleeping in the middle of the afternoon to the evening? You get up at 3 in the morning? What's going on there? Oh, you go back on the 5th? What day is the 5th? I have a calendar in front of me. You go back. Wait, the 5th is a Sunday, right? 1, 2, 3. The 5th is a Sunday. You're saying you go back to Arizona on the 5th? Oh, you're in Los Angeles County. So you're not at your father's place. You're staying with, who are you staying with? You're in Los Angeles. Your father's in Orange County. Sandy, where are you? You're in Los Angeles County? Which would be like 8 in the morning, December 31st here. So if I'm up at 8 in the morning, I'll have to watch where we live. I'll say hello to you from the past. You'll be in 2025. I'll still be in 24. So I think it's 16 hours. You're 16 hours ahead. So midnight there, go back midnight, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 12 and 10 night. So 8 o'clock in the morning. So 8 o'clock in the morning, Jersey is midnight, Sydney. Yes, I did. I think I even told my mother once when I was a little boy, I said, I wonder sometimes will I ever have a girlfriend? And she said, oh, you will. I always knew I was different. I just didn't know how different until because you always had that hope. Okay, I'm a little kid, but maybe when I'm a teenager, it'll be different. Maybe when my 20s will be different. And you get to a point where you're 40 something years old and nothing really improved. Shit, hold on. I lost my pill. Yeah, I remember I said once to my mother, I'm like, I was still elementary school. Sometimes because I saw the kids in school got along with each other, and I was always the outcast weirdo. None of the girls ever had a crush on me. I was never treated like a normal person. And my mother said, I'm sorry, San Dimas is in Los Angeles County. My apologies. I thought you mentioned you used to live in Orange County. I apologize. San Dimas is Los Angeles County. Largest county in the United States population-wise. Larger than 20 some odd states. Yeah, Los Angeles County, the most populous county in the United States. And it became true. Yeah, I had a feeling, but you can't know for sure because you think, well, I'm just a kid. What do I know about life? Maybe things will get better. Maybe these adults, why would they lie to me? Maybe they do know better. And you live and learn. You live and learn. Yeah. Yeah. When did PFP, profile picture? Profile is one word. Why would it be? But it's like, when did Avatar get replaced by PFP? Yeah, you're going to be 31, right? The big 3-1, I believe. You were born in 1994. Okay. Okay, I knew there was an Orange County connection, but you're in San Dimas, which is Los Angeles County. My apologies. And you're going to be 31, January 20th, Inauguration Day, when Trump becomes our first president since Grover Cleveland to have a non-consecutive term. When he's sworn in, you'll be turning 31. Congratulations. Yeah, Beppis, what is your birthday? How old are you, Beppis? Well, my age and Cassandra's age and DBF's age. What's your age, Beppis? Yeah, Dumb. The thing about Dumb, I like Dumb. I do. I like him. He's a nice guy, but he's a little too nice. And under the surface, the truth finally comes out. I think Dumb was very resentful towards me. I'm like, dude, we're all buddies here. Why are you so? Yeah, he's very insecure. I'll say it. He is very insecure. I like the guy. It's a shame. I don't even mind the honesty. I hate the deception. Yeah. So if I have to go on testosterone, if my T levels are low, hope I don't start balding. But they say you shouldn't if you don't have the gene for it. It's an accelerant. You turned 28 on May 28th. So you were born in, let me do the math. You were born in 1997. Is that correct? You were born in 1997, May 28th of 1997. Let's write that down. You're only 3 years younger than Cassandra. I remember 1997. I was a teenager. Didn't have a girlfriend then, still don't. It's funny to think I'm old enough to be the fathers of some of you people. Well, you're basing that on what I told you, or you heard something else? Give us the gossip. Do tell. Do tell. I might have to go down and get myself a twisted tea soon. I'm drinking beer. It's Budweiser, not Carlsberg. I'm gonna go down and get a twisted tea. Aiden suggested it. Right, I'm sorry. It's gonna be 2025, right? 97 to 27 is 30 years. Subtract 2, 30, 20, 20, you're 28. You'll be 28. Whatever. At least I got the date right, didn't I? I remember that year. Well, yeah, that's how I don't want you to just take my word for it. Have others agreed? Have others told you? Wait, what the date is wrong? What did I get wrong? Oh, May. Okay, my apologies. You're right. So I guess that's due to the mental damage. You will be 28 on the 28th. 27 is not involved here. You'll be 28 on the 28th. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Right. Sorry, I aged you one day. Forgive me, Beppis. May 28th, Beppis will have her 28th birthday. On May 20. Oh, shit. See, I'm still screwing up. I think I got it right now. Bear with me. I guess I am drunk and tired. On May 28th of New Year 2025, Beppis will be 28. You'll be 28 on the 28th. Okay. She was born May 28th of 1997. There we go. I'll get it eventually. Eventually. I used to be good with numbers, but now it's like, what year? What year? How old am I? What? As you get older, you'll find that happens. You'll forget, like, am I 42? Am I 37? Am I 45? Yeah, especially in your 30s, will start happening. You can't remember. Am I 30? I remember, like, in my 30s. Am I 34? No, wait, I'm 37 now. You start losing track of time in your 30s. Definitely. Your age and whatnot. Okay, did I get this right? You were born on May 28th of 97. On May 28th of 2025, you'll be 28 years old. Is that correct? Did I get it? I think I got it. I'm a little slow. Is the microphone okay, or does it sound too jacked up? Do I get another? Maybe I got one more beer before I do a twisted tea. I don't know. Good timing. Good timing. I guess it takes me a minute. I got one more. I got a bush, and I got a tall. And this should be enough. This should be enough for tonight. Tall boy, 2-in-1, 24-ounce, twisted tea, silver tab. All right, where was I? Was I doing something? Yes, Beppis was born on May 28th of 1997. On May 28th of 2025, she will be 28 years old. Okay. I think I got it. I thought you said 19 on one of your streams. Maybe I wasn't listening. I thought you said 19. You changed the age. And what do you mean by losing your virginity? To a woman or to a man? I'm not even trying to be an asshole. When did you... asshole, no pun intended. When did you lose your... maybe I shouldn't even ask this question. I'm sorry I said anything, DBF. Silver tab. Well, I don't usually watch him, but you know that asshole, what's his name? Off Grid Live. He did a stream recently where he was here. Actually, I can pull it up. I think actually, no, I can't pull it up here. I don't have his thing. No, I don't have his tab now. I clicked on his name when he was in my chat, but he did a stream recently where he was drinking twisted tea and he held it up. So I left him a little comment. I said, "Twisted tea, good choice. You learned well, grasshopper." And that's the thing about me. People always tell me what a weirdo I am. They want to like put me down, and they want to copy me. It's amazing. People want to put me down, but they secretly want to steal my ideas. I'm happy to share the wealth. I'm happy to inspire others, but it's like, you know, it's like these people, they knock me. It's almost like some weird hang up people have. They can't admit, hey, you got a good idea. Instead, we don't like you. We got to knock you, and then we'll steal your idea. You see this, you know. But oh well, twisted tea for all. Ew. I see. Well, you know what that means. Because I'll be Sigmund Freud for a minute. It means you're tired of giving to the pussy. You want to be the receiving end of the pussy. You want someone to plow your pussy. So I think you should make that happen. How am I that good at speaking and telling stories with autism? Well, number one, I don't think I'm that good at telling stories. That's number one. Number two, it's probably part of my masking. If there's anything good about the way I talk, it's probably due to my masking. Because I'm a nervous wreck. You wouldn't believe it. I gotta get drunk just to go on camera here. And a lot of it might go back to my father. Beppis can tell you, when I was a little boy, my father used to scream at me, "You don't articulate properly." Like I'd start saying something. What? He'd start mocking me and he'd say, "You don't know how to articulate. You got to articulate. Speak English." So it was kind of like grilled in me to try to be. And in fact, I think my father encouraged me to be articulate to a fault. Some people find me very pedantic, which is part of autism too. But yeah, my father used to scream at me, about, I wasn't articulate when I was a little boy. Articulate, speak proper English, articulate. Oh. Whoosh. And I guess I should be flattered, but the truth is, I don't think of myself as that great a storyteller. In fact, I think I'm kind of long-winded and babbling at times, and I get tongue-tied. Yes, because you want another man. You want to be the bussy. You're tired of getting bussy. You want to proffer up your bussy. I understand. It makes perfect sense. Sigmund Freud here, man. It's Freudian. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to share. I've shared this before. I'll share it again. Why not? About 20 some odd years ago, when I was in my 20s, I bought a micro cassette recorder, and I used to just talk to myself all the time. I'd record, I listen back to it. So I think talking into a micro cassette recorder and sharing my thoughts with no one, but instead of just talking to myself out loud, having that recording, having it official, made it more, because I don't think I could just sit there talk to myself out of the blue. I think having a recording made it like, okay, I'm not just a crazy person talking to myself. I'm actually doing something. I think talking to a micro cassette also helped quite a bit. That was like 20 some odd years ago. Before YouTube even came out, I was talking to a micro cassette recorder in my 20s. Yeah, exactly. As Beppis says, you can be good at speaking and have autism. As long as you have average or higher intelligence, you can learn and imitate. Yeah, you can only imitate to a certain extent. In fact, that's probably what gets me in trouble. Like I've always said, people think I'm normal enough that I deserve like full adult punishment, but they don't let me sit at the big boy table. Like retards sometimes get a pass. you're retarded. You don't get to sit at the big boy table, but you're retarded. With me, it's like you're too weird to be a normie like us. But when something goes wrong, we're going to hold you to normie standards. Yeah. That's correct, man. It takes a lot of energy. God, it takes a lot of energy. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Yuko. But I think you're smarter than you give yourself credit for. I've never taken a call in upstairs on my Windows XP computer, and you've never called in. So I think Yuko's got to be our next to say hello. Don't be intimidated. I will hold your hand through it. Do not be intimidated. Come on, Yuko. Exactly. Just call and say hi. Don't be scared. Sometimes, if there's anything I can do for my fellow weirdos out there, make you come out of your security zone. You're safe here. You're loved here. Don't worry. Well, that comes next. One step at a time, DBF. Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there, DBF. How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, it's okay if you don't want to show your face, but you don't have to be so hard on yourself. You're more than welcome to come on and say hello. And how are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I like your streams. I don't know how you seem pretty like extroverted and good at speaking, so it's kind of strange. I'm in a similar situation to you though with like life, like doing wage slave jobs and shit. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it sucks.
And I think part of like when I talk to my shrink, he always says the same thing. You seem much too extrovert and articulate. You don't have autism. And I think it actually works against us because my problems in life are real, regardless of how normal I seem when I'm talking to someone. So
Yeah. I want to get neat bucks too and get a diagnosis, but it's just like seems like they do everything in their power to like stop you from getting neat bucks, and watching you go through it, it just seems like takes forever.
it does. It's a process. Hopefully I'll get food stamps soon. It took me forever to get my diagnosis. Did you say you were in Michigan? I thought you said you were in Detroit. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm in Detroit.
Honestly, you got a bit of a southern twang, a little bit of a drawl to you. I would guess you're from down south or lower Midwest. No?
Yeah, a lot of people say that. I don't know. My parents are actually British, so when I grew up, I spoke like with an English accent. So I don't know if that affected it, but yeah, people always tell me that.
Okay, so you're from Michigan. Your parents are British from England, and you have this sort of quasi southern accent. Fascinating. Yeah. And how old did you say you were? You're 30 something?
I'm
26. Okay, just 26. Yeah. I would say do it now. Get a diagnosis now. Don't wait till you're over 40 like I did. I would say the sooner the better. Seriously, just and it's good because even the good part about working is you're paying into it. So when the day comes, like with me, hopefully I'll be eligible for SSDI because I paid into it for 20 some odd years. So yeah.
Yeah, some of my friends are on it, but like they don't. It's like with them, it's just like their parents did it all for them, like you said. Like there's like kids telling you like just do it, and it's like their parents just did everything for them.
Right.
Like this one kid I was talking to, he was like telling me like it's like Todd, like they pay for his housing and all this shit. And I was like asking him like, how'd you do it? He's like, oh yeah, my parents just handle it all. I don't know. And it's like, oh, that's great. It's like everyone's like secretive about it or some shit, but.
Well, Beppis is reading my mind. My next question to you is going to be, Beppis wants to know, I'm curious too. How did you find my channel out of curiosity?
I think I found it from Todd.
From Todd, yeah. No, I like Todd. He was one of my heroes, but again, he had a lot of help from his parents too, more so than he lets on. That's why I was critical of him. I'm happy for him, but he had more help than he admits to.
Yeah, I like what you said about Todd though, where you're like you never wanted to be anything in life basically, and then when you found Todd, you're like, that's what I want to be. That's kind of how I felt when I
Yeah.
found him too. It's like never wanted to be shit. Then you find someone that is finally like an idol or some shit or someone you want to be. So
Someone who
yeah,
says it's okay to feel the way you do. It's perfectly all right. Like, I
yeah,
gave the analogy of like going to a career fair where, someone wants to join the army guy's there. He's all excited when joining the army. Another guy's a plumber. He wants to be a plumber. He learns from the plumber. Like me, no one ever interested me. The businessman, nothing ever appealed to me. I'd love to have Todd sitting at a booth in a career center and saying, hey, look, man, you're a failure. You're a fuck up. You have no friends. Can't get a girlfriend. It's not your fault. You don't want to do anything. Not your fault. It's because no one ever told us it was a perfectly all right thing to aspire to be. So yes, yeah, that's how
yeah,
I saw Todd. It's like the guidance counselor I wish I had always had. Yeah.
yeah. Plus, like all these problems are like genetic too, apparently. So it's like it's not really like therapy or any of this shit is really gonna do anything. It's
Exactly. But that again, like you said, you gave me a compliment, and I think you mean well. But my shrink says the same thing. He says to me, I've got some people who are clearly mentally impaired. They're very slow. They don't think very fast. You're able to hold a conversation. Therefore, you're normal. I'm like, so what if I can hold the conversation? My experiences are real. So sometimes it's like a double-edged
yeah,
sword. So plus, I'm clearly fucked up. But like you said, because you can hold the conversation, people don't want to admit that there's something wrong with you. They'd rather not.
yeah. Plus,
Um,
I kind of forgot you drink a lot, so I guess that makes it like a lot easier if you're drinking. If it, I guess you're messing.
it's funny you say that. You might be right, but some people are worse. When some people drink, they slur their words. Motherfucker. Maybe
Yeah,
with me, it's the opposite. Maybe alcohol makes me come out of my shell a little more than it normally would. So it could be because I'm not neurotypical. Alcohol is the opposite approach. Instead of slurring my words, I want to come alive and share ideas. But Beppis wants to know. I think you mentioned you wage slave. Are you currently working? Are you studying?
no,
Are you
I
meeting?
was working, but I quit recently, and I'm probably like you. I'm probably gonna have to go back soon. So
Yep.
because I
I got to go
wanna,
back to work.
yeah, because I
Go ahead.
wanna use the insurance to try to get like diagnosed like you did.
Hmm.
So otherwise, I can't really afford that shit. So
Exactly. It could be upwards of $5,000 out of pocket, and there's no guarantee you'll get a diagnosis. So
yeah, that's what
if
I
you can,
heard. Just
yeah, if you can get a job with insurance and they cover the bulk of it, and you can find someone who diagnoses you favorably, that's go for it. Definitely. That's what I tell
because
everyone.
a lot of these clinics they don't diagnose adults. It's like you say, like
Correct.
it's all like child ADHD, autism, or
Mm-hmm.
it's just like annoying. It's like you say they're the priests of medicine or modern medicine. So
Oh, I say you really do pay attention to what I say. I'm impressed.
yeah,
I'm always a little flattered when someone actually. I said, yeah, I always said it's like I told my shrink, you're a priest in the church of modern medicine. Without that magical written of indulgence, it's yeah. I appreciate you listening and paying attention. Yeah.
yeah.
Beppis wants to know: have you encountered any workplace? Have you ever any of the violent encounters I have, or are you more like my brother and people just get along with you? And are you a manlet, by the
I
way?
no, I'm like 6'1", I think, but
I'm
I,
impressed.
yeah, I never really had problems. I mean, I'm in Detroit though, so it's like a lot of like black people and shit, and so
Mhm.
like I mean, I've seen like people get in fights and stuff, and like get fired for stealing, but I always tried to like stay to myself basically because I learned like when I was a kid not to like not to try to mix with other people basically because it usually just doesn't go well, especially at work because like people pretend to be your friend and then they'll like use the information to like like talk to managers and all types of stuff. So I basically just stuck to myself the whole time I was there. But
Okay. And what kind of work, generally speaking, you
I was like a
retail or
grocery store, yeah, like
grocery
retail,
store?
but I was doing like slave labor basically because
Mm.
like basically I was unloading the trucks in the back and yeah, it's basically it just sucks. You're like in a trailer like unloading these giant like 2,000 boxes of like trucks full of boxes and it's just like nonstop and you have like black people bitching at you to hurry up and shit. So yeah,
Been there. All too many. Too many. Your story's
yeah,
my story, man. I hear you.
yeah, it sucks.
Hmm.
It's funny too because people are like, they're like, "Oh, if you quit your job, what will you do? You'll just be depressed." It's like working is worse than needing
For
by
us, yes.
far.
For us, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, like you'll think something's wrong with you just from working. Like that she'll make you think you're like mentally ill or going insane. You stop working, all of a sudden things are a lot better.
Well, let me ask, because you're much younger than I am. You're like Beppes's age. You weren't diagnosed in childhood with anything? I thought your generation.
Yes, I was diagnosed. Well, I was always in I don't know if you not therapy, but like psychologists and stuff when I was a kid for like different things. Like I guess they said I was ADHD, or no, first they said I was OCD, then they said no, it's ADHD or ADD back then, and then they said they just never really gave me a diagnosis, but they were just like telling me that there was something, I guess, wrong with me or something. And then a couple years ago in 2019, I was having like well, I didn't know at the time, but I guess it's like intrusive thoughts where you're like obsessing over like thoughts. Like, for example, like let's say you're driving, right? This wasn't what I had, but you'll think like what if I just crashed this car off the bridge right now, like impulsively,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just keep obsessing about that, and then you like it's all you think about, right? So at the time, I didn't know what that was. So I thought I'm like going schizophrenic or something. So I went to a like, I don't know what you call it, like a mental health evaluation. They said I had OCD, but I don't think I got tested for autism though. I guess it was just like general like analysis, like overview or something. And they just said, yeah, it's probably OCD. Take this, whatever it was, like SSRI or something, and it just didn't really do anything. And yeah, but I think I do have autism though, from what I've done, like those like something called the AQ or something, which is like apparently the test they give to autistic people. It's like the same thing they give you when you go to when you try to get diagnosed. And apparently, like I scored in like the autistic range for that. So I mean, I'm pretty sure I probably have autism. So
Yeah, what you described about wanting to drive your car into traffic and thinking about it, obsessing about it, that sounds very much like pure O, as Cassandra's saying. It's when you have purely obsessional thoughts, no rituals, none of the I got to wash my hand or step on every crack or every floor tile. It's obsessive compulsive disorder without the ritual. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. But I mean, none of these diagnoses stuck with you. I mean, you can't apply for try to apply for benefits with your OCD or ADHD. What?
I don't think it works. I think from what I've seen, the only two that work are schizophrenia and autism. Unless, like, I think.
Go ahead.
You can go ahead.
I was gonna say, I have autism, so that's good news for me. I hope you can get an autistic diagnosis, but go ahead.
Yeah. Well, apparently, like if you have an extremely low IQ or something, like, or if you like have like a head injury or something, I think you can get SSI too. But it's like you have to be basically like, like retarded or something. So
right.
I don't think I'm that low IQ, but
no, and that's one of the hardest. That's why I couldn't keep my father on Medicaid. He had a stroke. He was cognitively impaired, but after he improved enough, they said, okay, he's not mentally retarded, quote unquote. So we get to kick him off now. So I know how hard it is to prove mental illness with the authorities and the government. So I know how it is.
Yeah, I guess they don't like taking stuff like. I think you went through that too, where they don't like taking stuff unless it's like a physical issue, like a physical injury, like, you like break your leg or something, or yeah.
I want to ask on an unrelated note, have you ever been to England? Have you been to your parents' home country? Have you,
Yeah, I've been, my whole family's basically from England. It's just my parents that moved here.
Can I ask what part of England, or you don't have to be too specific?
Yeah, like Manchester area.
Okay, Manchester. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wanted to ask you. So like, what was you told some of it, but like, what was the main reason that your like your family hates, or like your I don't know if it's your dad or your mom or both, but they like don't want you to come to the family dinners or something, or like.
Well, okay, my father had the stroke. He was in an institution for like 5 years, and they kicked him out. He came back to this house briefly. My brother and I had to move back in here when he had a stroke, so my mother wouldn't lose it. He came back. I guess he was partly bitter that I kept him in an institution, but if I hadn't put him there, the government paid for his rehabilitation. When he first had his stroke, he was incontinent. He was shitting his pants. Yeah, he didn't know. You'd ask him, what year is it? 1976. What year were you born? 1976. My parents were married in 1976. So he was like a total fucking basket case. He improved. He'll never be 100%, but he improved. So I fought to have him there. Had it been up to my mother, he'd probably be here in this house for the past 5 years, all fucked up. So I went to bat for him because I knew what a nightmare it would be. But I think my mother resented that. That's my husband. Almost 50 years of marriage. Oh. I think there was resentment towards me, but I was doing what had to be done. It was realistic. I think they're very bitter about that. And I'm the one who got them into the place they're currently in, but they're fucking, and I spent all that time, I was working at that auto parts job where eventually I got threatened by that tall fag. Before that happened, I was working there 6 days a week, and then I'd come home and I'd try to get stuff set up over at their new place for them. And my mother, you're dragging your feet. They're very, very ingrates. They're fucking ingrates. My mother always deferred to my father. My father, I believe, is a narcissistic, psychopathic piece of shit. My mother just thinks he's so great. He does all the thinking for me, even though he's a fucking compromised retard. So yes, I think that's a big part of it. My brother just says, well, I agree with you, OC, that they're fuck ups, but let's just keep them over there because I don't want to deal with them anymore. So yeah, it's basically what it boils down to. My father's a piece of shit. And my mother mindlessly, she learned nothing from the past 5 years of his, that's how I would describe it. That's my side of the story. My mother and father and my brother may beg to differ, but that's my side of the story.
So is that they like your brother more than you, I guess, or like they favor him?
I hate to say this, he'll get upset, but I think they see him as sort of a pushover. Well, because he tries to play the field. I'm the oldest, so I had to take all this responsibility. I think my brother can be a bit more neutral, so they see him as easier to manipulate. That's how I feel. My brother doesn't like hearing that. No, I'm not being manipulated. He'll get defensive, but I think they see him as an easy target to manipulate. That's what I think.
Yeah. Have you this is another thing. Have you ever considered leaving the country or doing like I don't know, like C-maxing or like shit like that?
No. At this point, I want to get on the government dole. I'm an American citizen. I'm in my 40s. I've paid into it. I want to get an SSDI, get government housing. I don't want to leave the country. I don't have the money for that. I mean, I can understand some of these guys they're losers. They can't get a girlfriend, but otherwise they have a really great job. Neat bucks isn't a possibility for them. They've got tons of money saved up. They can go do that. I'm a pauper. So I'm bound to this place. It's not that New Jersey is Shangri-La. It's just that I'm a resident here. So if I can get any New Jersey benefits and any federal benefits, I'm looking to like secure my existence and not end up homeless. So no, I'm not even thinking about, I mean, if I did get on Neat Bucks and I was able to somehow say, because you can still work on Neat Bucks, you can work a minimal. If I have everything paid for by the government and I work a minimum wage job, $1,000 a month or whatever, $1,200 a month, which is below the threshold, and I save up, then maybe one day I'll consider it. But right now, I'm not even thinking about that. No.
Yeah, I get like. Plus, once you get to a certain age, it's kind of pointless at that point. Anyway,
true,
I guess.
You're still in your 20s, man. I'm over 40. It's
yeah.
I can't pretend. I can't. Even if I woke up tomorrow and I'm a 6'5" Chad, super rich, but I still have all my memories. I can't forget the realities I've lived. I'll never be able to forget what I went through. So, you're either born lucky, and if magically my fairy godmother could make me really good, I'd still have all the memories of all these years. I'm a different person now. I don't think it doesn't interest. Yeah. Maybe if you'd asked me that 10 or 15 years ago, I might have said yes, but now, no, not now.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is like the world's like, you kind of notice this too, if you're like an outcast of society, like the world's kind of made for like families and like partners and stuff. So even if you try to do like, like having like a wife or something. So even if you try to do something like just by yourself, it's like people think it's kind of strange that you're alone there, and like people like act like you're doing something wrong. So yeah, I've noticed that too.
Yeah, I'll tell you a real quick story. About 10 or 12 years ago, I was driving a taxi. I drove a local taxi cab. This was in the days before Uber and Lyft took off. And I'm a gringo driving a cab, mostly Mexicans. I speak my broken Spanish. Hola, amigo. And there was this one family. They were very nice, these spics, very nice, but they were very religious. I would take them to church. And one day I decided the cab, it was a minivan. It was a taxi cab, minivan. And it had a CD player. So I said, you know what? I want to listen to some music. Let me stop by the library. It was between rides. Let me stop by the library and check out some CDs. So I went inside and I saw this Mexican family. And they were our regulars, our customers, very nice. And the guy looked at me and goes, oh, he goes, you came to the library by yourself? And I didn't say anything. I just smiled. I said, well, I'm looking for a CD. I'm like, I need like a wife and kids to come to the library. I'm here to get a fucking CD or two to listen to in the car. So he was very polite. Yeah. He was like, oh, you came to the library by yourself? I'm like, I need a date to go to the library. So it just made me think of that. So I thought I'd share that story.
Yeah, plus like coworkers and everything always expect you to like have kids or like, you know, like have a girlfriend or something. I
Right.
mean,
Talk about yep.
yeah, I mean, I basically figured out just to lie about it and say you do, because like
Yeah.
otherwise they start treating you worse. That's another thing I noticed too. So
Hmm.
yeah, because like people just yeah, it's pretty dark. You can't really escape it though at a certain point, because eventually they'll, you know, like if you work somewhere for too long and you say like, yeah, I have a girlfriend, they're eventually gonna start getting suspicious when you just magically, you know, never have any proof or something or so. Yeah.
And Aiden agrees. He's gotten those looks when you're by yourself, minding your own business. The dirty looks you get. Yeah. Like people feel like emboldened to treat you like a
Yeah.
lesser being. Yeah.
Especially if you go out at night too. Like some people say to go out at night because there's less people, but then like people think you're even more some sort of like criminal or something, or like you're prowling the streets or something. Like
They only come out at night, as the old expression goes. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's actually pretty brutal because I when I worked at that job I was talking about, I actually noticed that the night shift was like the uglier people. Like the
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
uglier
yeah.
yeah, like the uglier people and the outcasts and like failures and stuff, they would like work the night shift because I guess there's no customers and and it's more like private. So I did notice that. That's actually a true thing that happens. So
I've worked many night shifts my life. Yes, we were all,
yeah,
but even there, like the fuck ups almost want to turn. I've noticed something. I've noticed when you're at the bottom of the barrel, some people think, okay, I'm at the bottom of the barrel, but if I pick on this guy, it elevates my status a bit more. So I don't know if I'm articulating this well enough, like my father used to say, articulate. But we're all lower rung, but some of these people think they can punch down on you to make themselves feel a step higher. Like, okay, I'm a loser, but I'm not the biggest loser because I punched down on him. Because I would try to go along with everybody. And some of these people, losers, fuck ups, drug addicts, ugly fuglies, they would like try to punch down on me or others trying to elevate their own status, even though we were all equally losers. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about here.
yeah.
Or, yeah.
No, I had manager. I mean, one of my managers at my last job was a I could tell she was on like crack or something like that when she came in, and then she only worked like a couple of days, and then she ended up like one of the other like one of my other coworkers told me that she had gotten arrested for like home invasion or something.
Oh
And
wow.
that was actually a manager. So like that's the type of people they were hiring as managers. So
Was she black? I gotta ask. She was colored.
no, she actually surprisingly she was white,
She was
but
white.
she
Her
kind
boyfriend was colored. I'm guessing.
probably yeah, but
Wow.
she was like I don't know, she kind of she was basically like she could have been like Mexican or something. I don't like kind of mixed, but yeah, it was pretty crazy. Also, I had like managers like I had a bunch of managers get arrested for like stealing or something like in the electronics department, stuff like that. So, yeah.
Well, you remind me one more cab story. When I was driving the cab, I picked up these two guys, white guys, and they told me they were from Detroit. They were from the Detroit area, and they came to New Jersey because they worked in like construction when a factory or warehouse or even a store was being built. They laid all the concrete flooring. So they told me they went all over the country doing this concrete flooring. And they said, ever since those riots back in the 1960s, Detroit is incredibly segregated. Whites and blacks don't really interact in Detroit. They're like, we went down to Arkansas a month ago for our last job, and the black folks are very nice, but here in I don't know if that's true. You say Detroit area is still very segregated since those riots back in the 1960s, or
Um, well, I would say it's somewhat segregated. Like I'm lucky. I actually live in a better like a mainly white part. Like I'm in the suburbs of Detroit, so the area I'm not like in the hood or anything. But yeah, I mean any job you go to here is full of like blacks mostly. Like it's a very black area, Michigan. So yeah, you can't really avoid the you can't really avoid that unfortunately. So yeah, but oh yeah, something I wanted to ask you.
sure.
This is something else. So apparently you have like avoidant personality disorder or
Yes.
something. Yeah, yeah, I think I have that too because I took a they gave me a test when I was at that like facility, whatever you call it, not like a psych ward, but like I guess like a psychologist or something. And they said like the highest score was avoidant personality or something. And like I looked it up and apparently like it just like basically means your life's gonna suck forever and
Yeah.
stuff, and like you're just gonna be like avoiding all like contact with people and like a hermit and stuff. And so yeah, it's pretty brutal. So, but yeah, I was surprised you were good at like speaking and stuff, because apparently, from what I saw, people had that with that are very like terrible speakers and stuff. It's kind of the same as autism, I guess. So yeah, that's
But I do wonder, you have autism, you have ADHD. When someone has both, maybe it manifests differently. You have classic, I'm not classic, but you have, the stereotypical autism, Asperger's. You have the stereotypical ADD, ADHD. When someone has both, it might be like this whole new animal that you can't put in either box. The failures are the same, but the presentation may be different. That's what I feel. That's why I think a lot of it's the two together. The autism plus ADHD combined makes me what I am. Whereas if I were purely autistic, Asperger's, Spurg, I'd be, if I were ADHD, I'd be bouncing off the walls. I think they kind of mitigate that. I present the way I do because of the two together. I'm just a working theory. I don't know.
well,
for
apparently
sure.
the genes for autism and I think it's like schizoid are the same genes or something like that, or like so like I guess you can have the same genes can be different disorders, because I guess it's like environmental factors that make them distinguish them, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty interesting. So that's another thing. A lot of this stuff is all just determined by genetics. So it's even if you could change this stuff, you'd basically just be changing your entire, which I don't think you can cure. Like, I don't think you're ever going to be able to cure autism or anything, but you basically be like doing a 180 from how you are anyway. So it's like you basically wouldn't be yourself. So which I guess would be better than being autistic. But
and I've always said, if the world is going to suck, at least we can acknowledge the suckiness. We can say, okay, you're a loser, but it's not your fault. It's genetic. Here's your neat bucks. You're a loser, but you're ugly. So we know how women behave towards the ugly. Here's your neat bucks. It seems like to function, society has this like mass delusional denial, which makes it even harder. In addition to being fucked up bullshit, Darwinist bullshit, on top of that, I guess we cope collectively as a species by playing wish away. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, at least if we can be honest about these things, yeah, it sucks. I'm an ugly fuck with autism. I can't do anything about it. My life's over. But at least everyone acknowledges that. Poor you. Here's your neat bucks. It seems like we live in a world where we don't want to acknowledge these inconvenient truths.
Yeah, I think the reason they allow it too is because they know that like if you give someone neat bucks, they're still gonna put into the system, like they're still gonna buy, because a lot of incels like play video games and like buy like cosmetic stuff, or like you're still gonna be buying stuff and keeping these, even if it's government funded, like government money, as long as it keeps the system running. And a lot of these jobs too, I actually think are like they're kind of fake jobs, like a lot of these low tier jobs. So they're basically just a form. It's like social security in the form of a job. Because like a lot of these jobs I notice is just a lot of downtime and like standing around. Like once you do your main job, a lot of it is just kind of like pretending to look busy and stuff. So I'm kind of thinking these jobs are just here to cater to incels basically, and like.
No, I remember. I think it was you who said that. A lot of these low-wage tier jobs exist for autistic males. Basically, I remember you saying that in one of my chats. I agree with you. And that's all I've done all my life. So when people say, there's no money in neat bucks, you should get a real job. If I could have gotten a real job, I would have. I wouldn't even be here. So it's like I'm basically a neat already who has to wage slave. So I might as well just neat make it official. I think you're the same. Yeah. I'm lucky in the sense that I've paid into it because in my 40s, I've paid into it since I was a teenager. I don't know if you got to wage slave and tough it out a few more, a decade or two, but yeah, it's good to pay into it. Why am I working? What am I doing this for? To be treated like shit, to have people try to kill me, to constantly be on the outs and losing jobs because, they want to blame the weirdo, the autistic weirdo, instead of the guy who's actually causing problems. So it's like, why even bother? Just give me my neat bucks because I'm not making any money anyway. I tell my shrink, I'm not making any money anyway. Whether I wage slave or I get neat bucks, I'm still getting paid shit. He goes, neat bucks doesn't pay shit. Yeah, but neither do my wage slave jobs. So yeah.
Yeah, they just don't. For some reason, people don't want like, I don't know what that is. I guess they like see it as like like what would you call that? Like not moral or something. But
Yeah, it could be it's not moral. They feel you're leeching off my tax dollars or whatever.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. My thing with that is it's like we're like how many black obese women are like on all types of like Medicare, like draining the system. So it's not really, yeah, it's not. I don't really consider this my like country or something. It's like it's not really like a an ethno state or something. So it's like I don't really care if I leech from a system that's already giving a bunch of other people, and some of them are even criminals and like
Yeah.
killing people and beating people. So it's like I really don't care. I think that takes the morality out of it, honestly. So
Yeah, don't feel guilty. Don't feel ashamed. Just go for it. Hey, if you can get it, get it.
yeah.
Like I said, I'm reapplying for food stamps. Fuck it, I don't care. But yeah, there is, like you said, that judgment. I'm not embarrassed to be on food stamps if I get approved. But you're right. You go into the store and the cashier looks at you like, "Why are you stealing? Why are you on food stamps? Why are you stealing my government tax dollars?" You get that
Yeah.
arrogance from people. I understand it. It's uncomfortable. I do know what you're talking about.
Well, this guy I know, he's on food stamps, but he's like jacked or something. Like he's like a bodybuilder, I guess. So like, I guess they just never said anything to him or something. But yeah, he's on food stamps. He lives on they like pay for his housing and everything. But I think he got diagnosed with autism as a kid, so it made it a lot easier, like you said. So he and I think he has like rich parents and stuff too, or something. So that also helps. But yeah, if you're like older, it's a lot harder.
Right. Now, like I said, I mean, you're 26, I'm 42, I'm 43. I forget what year it is. You were born in 97, your Beppis' age. I was born in 82. 40.
I was born in
I'm going to be
98.
98. Point is, a decade or two can make all the difference. When I was a boy, no one had ever heard of Asperger's. It might have been in a book, but no one knew what it was. They didn't diagnose these things when I was a kid. So the one thing your generation has going for you is if your parents did get you diagnosed, at least you have something to go on when you hit adulthood. Because I had nothing. I had to get diagnosed at the age of 40 or 41. So it's like, I forget my age sometimes, but it's like, yeah, I'm over 40. I didn't have the luxury. Whereas at least your generation, these things were known. The internet had all this information about it. So I admire the younger guys who got diagnosed in their childhood. Whereas, I had to wait till I was over 40 to get diagnosed.
Yeah.
But you haven't been diagnosed. You're kind of in my boat. You'd have to find a place. Get some insurance. Yeah, I understand.
It's like vague stuff too, because I was reading the like they wrote a report or something about me, and they just give you these tests, and it's like possible ADHD. Like they just say the word possible, but they don't. It's not like an on paper diagnosis that like you can use. So it's really it's just kind of annoying. I wish I would have just got diagnosed with autism the first time I went there, and then I wouldn't be in this situation. So
yeah, I've had psychiatrists and psychologists claim they could diagnose anything. In reality, it's really the neuropsychologists, emphasis on neuro. It's really the neuropsychologists who do the official diagnosing. So even if a shrink, a psychologist, psychiatrist, analyst tells you they can diagnose, often they won't. There are neuropsychologists who specialize in doing the diagnostic tests. So that's what you have to go for, a neuropsychologist.
So that's another thing. So how come you're still talking to this guy? Because he seems like he's like just hindering your process at getting neat bucks. Because he seems kind of like he's Jewish or something, and he's like, well, I want you to stay wage slaving and be a good boy and work hard. And it's just, if I were you, I would just get an entire new psychologist that will actually like recommend you to get on SSDI.
These are good questions. All right, there are several reasons. One, I've been with this guy almost 2 years. I kind of feel like if I had to start over again, I'd start from scratch. And then the next guy might say the same exact thing. I don't think you're a candidate for neat bucks. Find someone else. So I hate to start again. Also, like my brother says, it's a good outlet. I have someone who's paid to listen to me, whether he cares or not, someone who's paid to listen to me outside the family, because my brother's tired of hearing my stories. And also, I was hoping I could like wind him down, wear him down. Also, I was hoping that when I do apply, I got to wait till mid-January, like February 1st, before I can apply again. I was hoping to at least say, hey, I've been seeing a shrink for 2 years, and maybe there's something in his notes that helps. So it's a myriad of reasons. And the guy's 73, so God only knows how long he's going to be able to keep doing this. But I'd hate to start over now after investing 2 years of my time. I do get along with the guy. I say politically incorrect things to him. He doesn't seem to give a shit. So there are perks. Maybe I'll record one of my sessions and stream it, or put it up in a video. But yeah, eventually, because he said the same thing. Why don't you go find someone who might be more willing to give you neat bucks? I said, well, do you know anyone who would? Because there's no guarantee. I might start seeing someone else, and they might be like, just like him. I think you're too normal. You're too articulate to be on neat bucks. So yeah, I'm afraid, but eventually I probably will. But yeah, plus he knows all my stories and whatnot. Yeah.
So are you a lot different when you don't drink? Because maybe you just don't drink for a day and then see someone, and then maybe you'll appear more autistic or something.
Maybe I'm a lot more anxious and a lot more crippled. I think, well, it's probably the PTSD from the way I've been treated. I'm much more crippled than anxious. I feel that way now, but the drinking helps. I'm definitely much more crippled and anxious because of not from being autistic or ADHD, but because of the way people have treated me for being autistic and ADHD. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm anxious too, but like I have like I guess like social anxiety and stuff like that, which I guess that is like if you have a bunch of horrible experiences, of course you're not going to want to be around people. So
exactly, and that hence the avoidant personality. Yeah,
I guess for me it was genetic though, because I always didn't. Plus, I always had. I mean, I already said this, but I had this weird feeling as a kid that I was never going to get married and stuff. Like, and then it kind of became true. So.
I felt the same way. People might say self-fulfilling prophecy, but you pick up on these things when you're a kid.
Yeah.
I kind of knew the girls were treating me differently than the other boys in school. And I kind of picked up that, I might be a different type of person. And my mother, oh no, you will. I said, I might never get married. I might never have a girlfriend. Oh, you will. But I was trying to air a serious grievance. I felt I was being treated differently. And this Lawrence Wainwright says it might be racial because I'm a white male. They don't want to give us neat bucks the way they would, a Negro or a non-white. Or a woman.
That might be true.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I don't know. I heard somebody say, like, I don't know if this is true, but if you're like really ugly, like they won't give you neat bucks or something. Like they only give it to you if you're like a Chad or something. Or well, like I guess Todd's like 6'4" or something. So maybe they gave him the neat bucks. It's just like they were scared of him or something like that. Yeah.
Beppe says I should get a second therapist. I don't know if I can have two therapists, but it's something to look into. And you're right. I said to my therapist, I told my shrink, maybe you heard this. I said, Doc, maybe if I can go back in time, maybe I should come on and feign ignorance. I should be all, hi, I'm slow, I'm autistic. Maybe I should have played dumb and played up to a stereotype because it seems like you're the shrink and yet you think I'm normal. Even though you're a shrink, you think I'm normal because I talk too fluently or whatever. So maybe if I can go back and do it again, maybe I should play dumb. Be like, I'm scared. I'm retarded. Maybe overplay, like overdo it. Yeah. Because
Or just like only respond with one word answers. Like there's this guy who was like a mass shooter or something who was I can't remember his name, but he like shot up the Batman movie like years ago.
Colorado, Aurora. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. There's interviews of him on YouTube. I guess he was like schizophrenic, but like I guess that's an extreme case, but they would ask him like kind of a deep question and he'd just be like, yes. And then they'd ask him something else. He'd be like, no. And so like, I guess, I don't know, maybe if you do that, they'll think you're like completely insane or something. If you just give one word responses to everything.
Well, someone asked me what I want. I think it was King Froglet. Would I want to spend time in a psych ward? And the answer is I'm afraid to. Even though that would look good on paper, I might get raped or murdered in a psych ward. There are all kinds of nut jobs. I'm afraid to get myself committed. But Beppis brings up a good point. She says, if you have autism, like we do, how can you not also have avoidant personality just based upon how life has treated you? That's a good point. I think we must all have avoidant personality disorder based upon being treated like shit by society. I'd imagine. I mean, do you feel you have avoidant personality disorder or?
Yeah, I think I do. I used to think I was something. I actually studied all the like disorders and stuff a year ago because I was because I wanted neat bucks and I got curious. I thought I was something called schizoid or something that's kind of similar, but apparently if you're schizoid, you don't have anxiety. You're just kind of flat all the time. You basically are like like you feel no emotions or something. So since I have anxiety, I think I have avoidant personality disorder because I have like social anxiety and like I don't like being around like big groups, and like I like doing like solitary type of jobs and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what I think. But I guess autism is like similar to all of those. I guess it's like the same genetics are connected to all of those. So they could all just be one thing. I guess it's just slightly different variations or something.
Well, let me ask you, looking at your parents or any of your family in England, do you see similarities? Do any of your family members have these autism, or do you think you were just a freak occurrence or recessive genes? Are either your parents on the spectrum, or
Uh,
does it come from anywhere? Or are you like the outlier in your family?
I'm kind of the outlier. I have an uncle. I think he might maybe be autistic or something, or kind of like schizophrenic or something like that. But he still like kind of manages a job. I'm like the most trouble with life, like employment and stuff. Like I have a brother and sister. They're both kind of like normies. Um, and then I have my dad is it kind of is genetic. My dad's very introverted. And he never really had friends, but he had like a good paying job and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like I basically like basically he was like beta buxing pretty much, and that's what that's how since he had a good job, it didn't really matter what his like personality was or whatever, I guess. So
And
yeah.
your mother thought he was at least decent enough to be worthy of beta buxing him. So,
Yeah.
he might not have been a Chad, but she thought he was passable to have a kid with. So kids with. So,
Yeah, he like played rugby and stuff, so I guess it was like kind of like a jock or something back in the day. So I guess that probably helped. So
wow.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions for we do appreciate you coming on. It's been actually probably one of the
Oh
best
yeah,
talks
no
I've ever
problem.
had. I've enjoyed this. Does anybody in the audience have any questions for Mr. Yuko? By the way, what does your name mean? Can you explain? LOL Yuko.
Is well, it's from like it's just a name I've had for a long time. It's like it comes from basically like gaming. Like I used to change my name. I used to change my like gamer tags every day on back in the day on like Call of Duty and stuff. And then one day I changed it to Yuko, and people kept calling me that. It was basically cool to have a short name too. And and then I changed it, and people just kept calling me that. And then I just kind of kept it for a long time. It doesn't really mean anything. I think it's like a Japanese name for like, apparently it's like a Japanese name for like child or something like that, or I don't know, but yeah,
Okay. All
yeah, I
right.
like your streams because I'm like kind of in a similar situation to you, even though I'm younger, but like it's like a kind of a similar like I see a lot of similarities in you, I guess, like kind of so is
And that's what amazes me. Like, you and I know we're autistic. We know we're not making it socially like normies do. But then we got
yeah.
people telling us you're perfectly normal. They treat us like crap, but in the same breath, they tell us we're perfectly normal. It's like, how do you not see the problems we have? Especially like a psychiatrist, you're a shrink. Don't you study human behavior? How can you tell me I'm normal when you hear about my problems? Have you ever seen a psychiatrist? Do you plan to? I mean, I only see one to talk to someone and to get some meat bucks, but do you plan to see a shrink at some point, or?
Yeah, I mean, I do want to, but like I said, I have to. I mean, I technically probably could do it right now because I have money saved, but also like I don't know how I'm gonna explain it to my family and stuff because like I kind like I don't know I kind of bullshit with them, so they don't really like I don't know what I'm gonna tell them because obviously they don't want me. They're gonna consider it as like giving up on life or something, but it's like my life never began, so it's not giving up on
Yeah,
life.
no, because you're still in your 20s. Are you? What was I going to say? Are you your parents? I mean, they still expect you to get married and have a good job. I mean, what are they pressuring you? I mean, how do you?
Yeah,
You know,
they pressure me. Yeah, they it was mostly just about getting a job because like they're my parents are actually older. They had me pretty old. Like my dad's almost 70 and my mom's in her later 50s. And so they come from like they believe in like I guess like bootstrap hard working through everything, and like not having a job is like you're like a failure in life completely. Like they just like you can give them like good like intellectual like advice on stuff, and they just don't care if you don't have a job. That's another thing I noticed about normies too. Basically, if you're not like a high status person in society, they just don't care what you say. Like if I put my everything I was saying in someone who's like, let's just say like like some sort of professor or something in a college, they would just all agree with it. But if you're like basically like a low tier person, they just don't care what you're saying.
Right.
So
And
yeah,
like they've said about like teachers, like you're the good little boy who goes to class and sits there and you're polite and well behaved and raise your hand. The teacher doesn't respect you. The teacher actually respects the troublemaker. The troublemaker's acting out, causing all kinds of problems. Hey, Jimmy, you're being a jerk. But the teacher actually secretly admires that. Yeah, I guess parents secretly admire, fuck ups. Fuck ups. The ones who act out but have like, I guess that dominant personality versus the well-mannered. Well, they tell us to be this way, and when we behave accordingly, we're actually secretly hated for it. But yeah. By the way, are you the oldest or the youngest or the middle? Because you said you had a brother and a sister.
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, I know older parents have increased risk of autism. I've heard that. Yeah, my dad was very old when he had me.
But you're the oldest, so that means your brother and sister are younger.
Yeah,
but they're
yeah, that's true. That is kind of weird, but I guess it's like a 1 out of 3 ratio. So it's like I guess it's not. It's weird that that the first had autism and not the other ones, but I guess it's still an increased risk. I don't know if it has to be that, if it really matters that much, but yeah.
Now you're 26. Can I ask how old are your siblings?
I think I have a brother who's like 21, and I think my sister's 24. I think.
Do either of them have kids of their own yet, or not yet?
No, they don't have kids, but they're like in relationships. I'm the only one not in a relationship. I'm actually a virgin still at my age, so it's pretty brutal.
It's there's no shame given our we're autistic weirdos. So I told you this is a non-judgmental place, but yeah, no, I feel bad. I mean, you get to see your siblings living their normie lives, and you're like out there in the ether, but it's not your fault. It's not like you chose this. This is like what life gave us. All right.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal too, because it's like people ask you like what you're doing in life and stuff, and it's like. It's like, well, basically nothing, just rotting, like doing nothing as usual. It's like they always want you to have some like deep answer or something, or
some plan or something, or exactly. Yeah,
I used to want to like go off the grid and basically like the Unabomber. Like I basically wanted to go off the grid and like live in like a hut or something, but I never had like survival skills really, or like any way to survive off that. So I kind of gave up on that fantasy, but I used to want to do that.
Yeah, it's a nice fantasy, but I guess we're not really equipped with the survivalist skills. It sounds nice in theory to get away from people, but I've had that fantasy too. You're not the only one. So
yeah.
All right. What I want to ask before you go, anything else you'd like to ask me or share, or does anyone from the audience have? I do appreciate you coming on. Don't be a stranger. I'm glad you watch my stuff. It's nice when people actually pay attention. I won't keep you much longer, but if you want to ask me anything, or if anybody wants to ask lolYuko any questions, feel free.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you. So basically, your plan is to you're gonna go back to work for a little bit, I guess, and then you're gonna try to reapply for neat bucks. But what exactly was the problem that you like pulled out your claim? Like you said, there was like clueless lawyers or something like that, or
yeah, what I did was I went online and I said, how do I apply for neat bucks? And I found this agency called Atticus. Here, I'll type it here. And what Atticus was, Atticus is a headhunter. They're not lawyers themselves, but how do I put this? SSDI lawyers pay them to advertise. So if someone like me needs an SSDI lawyer, you go online, you type it in, Atticus comes up first. So I spoke with Atticus, and Atticus said, yes, we're a headhunter. You don't pay us anything. These lawyers pay us a fee for us to advertise on the internet on their behalf. And we found one in Georgia who will work for you. Because remember, SSDI is federal, so it doesn't matter what state it's in. So I said, okay, that's great. So then they hooked me up with this lawyer in Georgia. And everything sounded great at first. I gave them all my information. I told them about my diagnoses, told them my work history. And they said, great, we'll handle everything. Is what they said. These Georgians, we'll handle everything. I said, will Social Security send me anything? They said, well, they might send you a form or two to sign. No big deal. We handle everything. I said, great. So then I got like this huge packet. I got 2 huge packets from Social Security. They wanted all my pay stubs for 2023 and 2024. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And apparently I didn't want SSI. I wanted SSDI. Apparently this lawyer applied for both. To play it safe, they applied for both. So I tried calling them back. And they wouldn't take my call. I'd leave messages. They wouldn't return them. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I went to the local Social Security office, and the agents were like, yeah, a lot of these lawyers early on, you don't need a lawyer, just apply by yourself. And so I withdrew because let's say if I got to do all this work, if I got to provide all these pay stubs, I don't want this goddamn lawyer getting a cut of because I'm all over the place. In theory, if you hire a lawyer, they work for free. It's called contingency. They work for free. If you get approved, they keep 20% of your back pay, because they'll say, okay, you've been it's been decided you're eligible for SSDI starting on this date months ago. So here's a lump sum, retroactive, and 20% of that goes to pay the lawyer. Fine. That's fine if the lawyer actually did the work. When I had to provide all this paperwork, I said, I don't want this lawyer getting a cut of my, back pay. So I pulled out, and at the Social Security office, they told me, listen, you got to wait a good 60 days. If you reopen this claim, this was in November. If you reopen this claim within 60 days, it'll still be attached to this lawyer, and they might get a cut if you get approved. So I said, shit. So I pulled out because the lawyer wasn't answering my calls, wasn't doing anything for me. I had to write a bunch of paperwork. They told me, we'll handle everything. You might sign one or two little forms. I thought, great. When I got this huge fucking packet and the lawyer wouldn't take my call, it was like overwhelming. Why have a fucking lawyer take 20% of my back pay if they're not going to even take my fucking phone call? So that's why I pulled out.
Yeah. I don't know. Someone I was talking to said it's like the whole thing is just a test to see how bad you want to get SSI. So they're trying to get you to go back to work or something. Basically, they make it hard on purpose in the hopes that you give up and just keep working or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually true.
That might be true. And now I got educated. I learned something from the process. I want to reapply. I might ultimately need a lawyer, but I want to apply my own. Plus, like I said, they wanted pay stubs for 23 and 24. In 23, I had 2 jobs. I worked at a grocery store and I worked at a furniture store. In 24, I just worked at the auto parts place. I wouldn't mind providing the auto parts, but I want to go back and get a year's worth from 2023 of grocery store and furniture store. I'm like, I'm not getting all these pay stubs for you. So I figure if I wait till New Year, wait for the 60-day mark, apply, let's say February 1st, then 2023 goes bye-bye. The grocery store and the furniture store go bye-bye, and they'll just want stubs from 24 and 25, and I can apply on my own. If I get denied, then I can find a lawyer. I got educated.
And a lot of this is just because we're Americans too. Because apparently Europeans, they have crazy. It's easy to get on neat bucks over there, and they give them straight housing and everything. But I know they get taxed a lot more than us. But yeah, America's not really a good place to be a neat, from what I've seen. Apparently.
Still better than the third world country. I hate to be a neat in Nigeria. I don't think there is such a thing. Yeah. So, but yeah.
Apparently this one guy who was he wasn't really an incel, but he was I don't know what you call it, like a C-maxer, I guess, or whatever. But he was telling me that in Europe, they don't even care if the service is bad because they know at any time they can just quit and get on unemployment. So if let's just say you order something and it's not what you wanted, they'll just kick you out of the restaurant or something, or they just don't really care because they know they can just quit and get on SSI at any time. That's pretty funny.
We can ask some of our resident Europeans if what you're saying is true. Beppis, the reason you might need a lawyer ultimately, not about the application, it's about the argument for why you deserve neat bucks, why you're disabled. Apparently, a lot of people, what I read online, a lot of people can't make a good enough case for themselves. You need a lawyer to say, here's why he's disabled, X, Y, Z. That's
Yeah, that's true. But I've heard also people get denied for neat bucks, and then they'll get a lawyer, and then after getting a lawyer, they get accepted. So I guess they're just they just feel
exactly. Yeah, so I jumped. I should have done it by myself since I do all this paperwork anyway. I didn't want to be overwhelmed with paperwork, so I thought the lawyer will handle it. But once I got overwhelmed, I said I might as well do it myself. And then if I get denied, then I'll get a lawyer. Yeah, I know.
What did you say they tried to diagnose you as like a verbal like a nonverbal disorder or something like.
When I first spoke to the neuropsych, she was thinking that I might have what's called NVLD. I'll put it up, which stands for nonverbal learning diagnosis. Which nonverbal doesn't mean you can't speak. It means the problem is not verbal. The guy can speak. He does not have a verbal problem. He might have some other learning disorder. And I said to her, I said, this sounds like it should be Asperger's or PDD-NOS or high functioning autism. It sounds like NVLD should be under the umbrella of autism. It's effectively autism. It means you don't have trouble speaking. You can speak like I can. I'm talking right now. You all tell me I'm so great at articulating. It's my father. Non-verbal, not a verbal problem, but you have some other learning disorder. And I said, that should be under autism. Why merge everything under autism, but leave this one as a free radical? So she wanted to at first diagnose me with nonverbal learning disorder. She ultimately agreed to autism because of one of my tests. I guess, something about not understanding social cues. NVLD would be the kiss of death. It means you're fucked up, but you don't get any benefits. So thank Christ. Give me NVLD. Just stay away. Kiss of death. NVLD should be under autism, like Asperger's and PD. They merged them all together for a reason. Why NVLD is separate boggles my mind. But yeah, she wants to put me on nonverbal, meaning nonverbal doesn't mean you can't speak. It means speaking isn't the problem. He can speak. Verbalization is not the problem. It's a not verbal problem. It's something else. Social wise. Yeah. NVLD.
Yeah, I think they change a lot of this stuff too. Just based on like the time periods, like because like apparently like homosexuality used to be in the DSM as a mental disorder, and same with now there's like with the trans stuff, like cross-dressing or something was like a mental disorder. So like I feel they probably just pick and choose what is what they want to label. If they feel like they can stop more people from getting on SSI, they'll probably just add some new disorder on the list. So.
And this is where I'm showing my age because I'm old enough. Let me tell you real quick. When I was in my early 20s in college, we had September 11th. The Twin Towers came down. And then we went to war with Afghanistan and Iraq. And I was afraid at the time. When I was in my early 20s, I thought, oh, shit, am I going to get drafted? Is W. Bush going to call a draft? And at that time, I said to myself, either A, I'll get a gun and shoot myself in the leg, or B, I'm not gay, but I'll find some dude and I'll make out with him from the draft board. Because when I was in my early 20s, I was afraid you could still get kicked out of the army for being openly gay. And I said, I'll tell him I'm a fag. I don't care. I'll make out with some dude just so I don't have to go to Afghanistan or Iraq. Now, history shows that there was no draft. But at the time, I didn't know. And yes, even in my lifetime, my early 20s, I could have gotten out of it by claiming to be gay and making out with a dude in front of a draft board. They probably would have, because I'm an autistic weirdo, they probably would have believed it. So I actually thought about that. I said, shit, if they want to send me to Afghanistan or Iraq, I'll make out with some dude in front of the draft board. Yeah, it was still a thing when I was that wasn't that long ago. I don't feel that old. And so it's amazing what you're talking about how homosexuality used to be a non-qualifier or whatever. So yeah,
it's like, it's kind of crazy now because like I was actually thinking of joining the military just to like basically like escape my life, I guess. But like apparently they're really strict with requirements. I mean, I wasn't trying to go to war or anything, but like obviously that's a risk. But like apparently now if you have ADHD or autism, you have to like, and you actually want to get in, they'll just reject you, or you have to get like you have to go to a psychologist and get a letter of approval to give to the military. So I guess if you have autism diagnosed, you probably won't ever go into the military, or you won't ever get have to worry about that. But yeah,
no, OC doesn't want to get killed in some foreign war, so I would pretend to love the pussy. Yeah, but now you're 20. So I remember one thing. I remember when I turned 18, I got my papers in the mail. They wanted me to sign up with Selective Services, and it told me flat out, you gotta stay active till you're 26. 26 is like the magic age when you get too old to be compulsory military. Yeah. So, and you're lucky because you're not actually if you wanted to join, you probably could because you're not actually diagnosed with anything. But I would not recommend joining the military if you're autistic. I think it would be a disaster. It's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I looked into it, and everyone that I read about that like said they had autism said it was like basically horrible and that it sucked. I mean, I wasn't like, the reason I was thinking of doing that is just because like it's like an easy way. Like it's basically a form of SSI, because once you get out of, if you actually complete it for like a 4-year contract, there's like the GI Bill, and they basically give you like free money and rent and stuff. And technically you're supposed to like, I think you're supposed to like be in a class or something, or but like there's ways around that from what I saw. So that's the only reason I was thinking of that. But then like I kind of like decided not to. Like I came to reality that I was like too autistic to do that shit. Too anxious too. So.
And that's a good way of putting it. I feel in many ways, even before I knew what autism was. Let me type this out. Even before I knew what autism was, I feel like I'm too autistic to do a lot of things that normies do naturally. You know what I mean? It's like I'm too autistic to do this or that. You know, all these expectations.
I mean, I fucked up jobs on my first day and like almost like shut down places from fucking stuff up from like being autistic. So like I had this one job where I was like scanning, like I don't know what it was. It was like some sort of like factory where they sold like these devices that go on the back of trailers or something. And I was supposed to like, I guess I was supposed to scan. This was a long time ago. I was like 18 or something, but and like I had a bunch of misscans on my first day, which like I basically forgot to scan the items. And like there was like this giant meeting there, and I was like too embarrassed to come back. I just quit after that. I was like, "Fuck this." Yeah.
Now, you guys might be too young to remember this. People are asking me questions. I know you guys are in your 20s and 30s. Would I love Bussy if I'm not going to war? Did I hear that correctly? What you might not remember, some of you guys might not know, it used to be homosexuals weren't allowed in the military. And then under Bill Clinton, they came up with something called Don't Ask, Don't Tell. If you were a faggot, but you wanted to serve, the agreement was, okay, you can be gay, but don't tell us and we won't ask you. And that was still a thing during the W years. And I said, I'm not gay, but I don't want to go to war. If I have to, I'll either shoot myself in the leg, injure myself, or make out with a dude to not go to war. Don't ask, don't tell. I guess enough time has gone by. You guys don't know what this is. This was in America. For years, homosexuals were barred from the military. If a fag wanted to serve, then the agreement was you don't ask, we won't ask, and you don't tell us. As soon as you admit you're gay, you get kicked out. We won't ask you in exchange. And and that was still, the policy when I was a young man. And I thought, if they want to draft me, I'll make out with a dude just to not go to Afghanistan. Don't ask, don't tell. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about. I guess you're too young. I guess or not American enough. Either you're too young or you're not American. Don't ask, don't tell. An American policy about homosexuals in the military. Does no one know what I'm talking about? You're looking like I'm crazy. Don't ask, don't tell.
I think there was like a trans, like, I don't know who it was. I think it was like one of the high ranking guys in the military who was like wearing a dress or something, like a cross dresser, I guess. So yeah, I guess now they just don't care.
No, I would make out with a dude if it meant not going to war. Absolutely. I'd French kiss a guy to get out of going to war. But you can't do that now because they repealed Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Anyone can serve in the military. When I was younger, if you were openly gay, you could be gay, but you couldn't be openly gay. If you were openly gay, they'd kick you out of the military. That was for gays who wanted to serve. I didn't want to serve. If they tried to draft me, I'd make out with a dude. I don't care. I would have done anything I could or shot myself in the fucking leg to get out of it. I didn't want to go to fucking Afghanistan or Iraq. It was a real threat when I was in my early 20s of getting drafted and going to some stupid war. So yeah, I never wanted to, I'm too autistic.
I wonder if being gay is genetic or if it's just like men that basically can't get women. So they end up being gay because they can't get women.
Yeah, I've heard of that about the gay cope. They can't get women, so they're too ugly, so they figure, fuck it, might as well be gay. I've heard of that. Yeah. And I asked DBF, Destroyed by Foids, about that. Matt Destroyed. I asked him, and I said to him, I said, listen, man, let's say you did have a wife and kids and everything was normal. I guess you'd never go for pussy. He said, no, he'd still go the gay way. So even if he had a wife and kids, he'd still want to have sex with a man.
So I guess it's genetic or something.
I guess it's genetic or something psychological early on. Yeah, either or. They don't choose it. Yeah, because he said even if he had a wife and kids, he'd still want to have an experiment with men. So I guess it's genetic or deep in the psyche that it can't be undone, whatever. Yeah.
Plus, like, what people, I guess, got executed for being gay or something in like medieval times and stuff like that. So like, I guess if they could just be straight, they wouldn't choose to do it, I guess. But right. I don't get how being gay, like there's this one guy I was talking to, apparently he's gay, but he was like black pilled on life. But I was saying like, isn't it, if you're gay, isn't it easier to get a man? Because like women are like, they don't really make sense. It's like, but they just like ignore
Right.
you unless you're like the top 1%. But like, if you're gay, how are you black pilled? I never understood that. Or if you like transsexuals or stuff like that. I always thought it was a problem with women, basically. So
I guess it can be many factors. There's no one cause. It could be multiple things that lead a person down that path. But all I know is DBF would be into Bussy even if he had a girlfriend. So
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I always think about stuff like that. Like basically, if everything's genetic, it's basically like determinism. So like whatever's gonna happen, your life's already determined, basically. So it's like it's all just like unless you're like religious or something, I guess. But it's like, like everything's kind of just like chemical reactions and stuff like that. So that like you can basically just do nothing, and whatever was gonna happen, it was like it was gonna happen anyway. So
right, and I agree with what you said. I don't think men are as picky as women because what it boils down to, I'm going to say it biologically, in the back of every woman's mind, she knows that any man she has sex with could be a potential father for children. Even if she's pro-choice, even if she's barren and she knows she's barren, there's this biological drive that says, you know what, any man I sleep with I might share DNA with and have a kid with. So I think women are much, much more picky. Whereas with men, prior to AIDS, prior to HIV/AIDS, there's no risk of pregnancy, so men are much less picky. So I do agree. Like Aiden is saying, he said more men hit on than women. I don't think men are as picky when it comes to gay men aren't as picky with sex partners as heterosexual women, because in the back of every woman's mind, she knows she might be sharing DNA with this guy and having a kid with him. And I think that's the biological deterrent to, even sluts have standards, right?
yeah, that's there's something weird like with the homosexuality thing. Apparently, like there was a study that studied like people with like alternate sexualities, and they found that they had higher neuroticism. So it's like depression, anxiety, and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't know what that could mean. Like maybe they just get so depressed that they like give up on life and try to become gay as a last ditch effort or something like that. I don't know.
That might be true for some. They give up. They want women, can't get women, give up.
Yeah.
But Beppis agrees. She thinks you have autism, but they misdiagnosed you. You have the OCD and maybe ADD, ADHD, but she thinks, it's really just autism. She thinks you've been misdiagnosed. Beppis says
Okay.
you are a candidate for autism, according to her.
I mean, I'm surprised there's so many women, and I always wonder how women find streams like this.
Let's ask them, because apparently you said, okay, I actually want to ask you a question. You said you found me through Todd. Is that correct?
Yeah, I found there's someone named GA Genetic Abomination. He used to make Todd like meme videos and stuff. I'm actually friends with him. And then I found I found Depressed Unwanted Man, and then I found you, but I found you from Todd's stream. I think some, because he kept mentioning you, and I went to your stream, and it was entertaining, so I just kept watching it.
That's it. So you found Genetic Abomination before anybody else. How do you find Genetic Abomination of all people before anybody else?
I was watching neat videos, like people kneading, and I think I joined a Discord or something, and somebody put him in the Discord, and it was like an edit of Todd. Like, you ever seen the clip of him on when he answers the phone? He's like, "Fuck you," and then and I just thought it was funny. So I was trying to figure out who it was, and then I found him, and that basically I kept following him, and he used to do live streams where he would like have a bunch of I guess there was like women that would go on there, and then like a bunch of other people, and they would all like argue and stuff, and it was just funny. And then he made his videos about neat bucks and stuff, and that's when I got the idea that I didn't know that was possible until I saw that.
That's what I saw in Todd too. Not a buddy, not a clubhouse, but a guy who's saying, like you said, the guidance counselor who says it's okay. You're a failure and a fuck up. You can go neat. I saw him as like, wow,
Yeah.
a coach, a life coach. But all right,
Yeah.
we're winding up. Yeah, the question was, how do the women find me? Well, Beppis says she found me through Todd, and Cassandra said she found me through Dumb. How these women find those people, I don't know. I know that Beppis herself has autism and wants to neat in her own country of Sweden. She's quasi neat. I don't know about Cassandra. You can ask them. I honestly don't know how people. I always ask people, "How'd you find me?" Just out of pure
Are
curiosity.
these women white or are they not? You're not sure.
Beppis is from Sweden. Her mother's Swedish. Her father is Tunisian. So she's half Arab, but she doesn't look Arab. She looks like a Swede. Cassandra is a quarter Mexican. Just looks like some frumpy white girl. They look white-ish. They're not 100% white, but they look white. Yes.
Well, yeah, because apparently white people are like basically like white women aren't having kids anymore. So like I don't know. I guess it's just they just don't want to or something, or unless they're not getting a Chad or something like that. So yeah, I always wonder how women find videos like this. I mean, I guess if they're seeing you as like a lol cow or something like that,
they might. I might just be a joke to them. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I always thought. Like, because like I didn't know women watch Todd, but I guess they because I think he said that they see him as like a lol cow basically. So it's like, you know, they're just because like most lol cows are like autistic men basically. That's another thing I noticed. So I guess that's what it is. But
well, I'm going to give you a choice. I got to get some more tea. So if you want to stay and answer questions, go ahead. If not, we can say goodnight. I got to go down and get another tea. I love talking. You want to stick around, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, sure. I was fine by me.
Stick around. I won't put the timer on. You guys can ask some questions. I'll be right back. I gotta take a piss and get some tea, and we'll go from there. If you want to stick around, can you see the chat? Okay.
I can open it on. I have it open on another tab.
Yeah, look, if anyone wants to ask any question, I don't know what I don't know what Cassandra and others see in us. I mean, everyone's welcome here, but I honestly don't know why they come here, but they're welcome.
Yeah, someone said something about like autism diagnosis. Like I had as a kid, I could only wear certain clothes too. I guess that's also a sign of autism. Like if something like I grew out of this, but like if something wasn't an exact type of like material, I couldn't wear the clothes basically. So like I had to wear kind of the same stuff 24/7. So. Oh, you have schizophrenia. Yeah, I heard schizophrenia is the other good diagnosis to get outside of autism, because I guess it's like considered severe, so it's easier to. How'd you get denied though? Are you white? Oh, okay. Well, I get like if you're a woman with autism, it's like you can just basically find a man to do everything for you. So like if you're a male with autism, you're kind of fucked in life because like you're supposed to be like a provider basically, but it's like you can't really do that if you're like autistic for the most part.
Yeah, where was I? I don't even know what comment we're on, but hey, no, keep talking. Go ahead. I'm just getting some.
I was just saying, if you're a woman with autism, like I don't really see how that's a problem because you can basically just you can find a man who will basically just do everything for you in life. I mean, you can basically be a neat as a woman and like be a housewife, and then it's like, so like I don't really see how it's as bad.
That's what I would do if I were a woman with autism. I would just find some dude who can like be my seeing eye dog through life and take care of all the problems and just exist. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
So Beppis even says she thought she could relate to Todd and others because she's also autistic, but then she realized she doesn't have it nearly as bad. Interesting to hear a woman admit that. She stuck around because she made friends. So yeah, she doesn't. Yeah, so even here we have an autistic woman being honest and saying she doesn't have as bad as the men. So I hats off to Beppis for that. Yeah. Cassandra, you're a quarter Mexican. Don't pretend you're not a quarter Chicano.
It's like those memes and discords where it's like the white nationalists of the group, and it'll show like a bunch of Indians and Mexicans.
Right.
You know who Nick Fuentes is?
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah, like I guess like I don't know. Supposedly he's like a white nationalist, but he's Mexican, and like he got like in some drama. I guess he like maced a woman or something, and then like he got arrested by the or not arrested, but the cops approached him. He was like, they're like, "Are you a white nationalist?" He's like, "No, I'm Mexican." But like supposedly this is like the top white nationalist or something like that. I don't know.
Cassandra is hinting that her boyfriend might be autistic, but she puts it funny. What if I'm normal and my boyfriend is autistic? I mean, is her boyfriend autistic? We don't know what she's getting at here, but
like I've noticed people that like men that get women that have autism, or that claim they have autism, usually they just have like BPD or something like that. Because I know somebody who's like he's kind of like a Chad, I guess. Like he's had a bunch of girlfriends, and he claimed he was autistic, but like he basically he doesn't really seem autistic to me.
Yeah, her boyfriend's a laser scientist, but now she's saying he's not autistic, so I'm not sure what she's getting at. But yeah, he's a laser scientist, but he's not autistic. But she was using that as an example. Yeah, I'm not following here, but okay.
I mean, I would say if you're autistic, if you're really an autistic man, you most likely don't have any experience with women for the most part.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. For the most part. Yep. Correct.
Apparently I read this the other day too. They did a study a big study in Europe, and only 15% of autistic men had full-time employment.
15.
Yeah, only 15% supposedly.
That means 85% are what they call underemployed or unemployed outright, like us.
Yeah.
Unemployed or underemployed. 85% of autistic men are underemployed or unemployed outright. Yeah. Great life to look forward to, right?
Yeah. I mean, like all my jobs all my jobs were like wage slave jobs or like you know, shit like that. I mean, like I tried to go to college, but like I couldn't focus on the work and stuff, and I just ended up I would always like drop out and then try to go back, and then eventually I just gave up. Figured out it's basically pointless anyway, because even if you get a high level degree or something, it's all about like climbing up the ladders and like being like a good like a social person, and I was always shit at that too, so I just figured out there's basically no point in that. So
wow. See, we're all unemployed or underemployed. That's right now. I'm unemployed. I'm going to go back to work and be underemployed, just like you. You're unemployed. We'll go back to work and be underemployed. We have nothing, like no prospects. It's sad, but it's the reality, and no one wants to talk about this inconvenient truth. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Did you go to college?
I did. I went to college. If I can go back in time, I would have gone to I went to a 4-year university. I would have gone to community college and maybe like gotten an apprenticeship. If I can go back, I wouldn't have, I regret going, but in my era, they said, oh, you gotta go to college. That's the next step. So I went to college. I had the brains for it academically on paper, but yeah, I regret it. At the time it was, you got to go to college.
Yeah,
Our baby parents. Yeah.
I watching your videos, I always thought you seemed like you were high IQ or something. So I was kind of surprised you were working like low tier jobs, because sometimes high IQ people, if they have autism, usually they become like I don't know, like they go into like computer programming and like stuff like that, and like, you know, like math and stuff. So
well, my IQ is high, but it wasn't that high. I never had the chance. I was more word related. I was never good with math, and I didn't get into computers later in life. I'm like grandpa. I'm very slow with technology. So I guess maybe I should have been more on the ball when I was younger, but yeah. I screwed that up. And yes, DBF is also unemployed or underemployed. Yes, it's how we end up. Yeah.
What did you get your degree in?
I did a major in economics and history. I was going to go on to be, my father wanted me to be a teacher. He kept insisting he become a teacher. I'm like, Christ. I was going to go on to I got a degree to grad school. I did take some courses to be a teacher, but I never really wanted to be a teacher because I didn't think I have the social skills for it. But that's what they wanted. History, economics. I also did English as a minor. I was, I took courses that were easy for me to do. I get like A pluses and shit. But man, my father thought I'd be great if I became a teacher because he said you get the summers off and you get the union and the benefits. But I didn't have it in me to. The reality of being a teacher is staying in front of a classroom with a bunch of fucking kids, and I knew I never had it in me. Yes, I'm a white nigger. Yes.
Yeah, that's yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was always interested in like, well, at one point I was interested in like philosophy and stuff, but like that's like you don't really get like that's kind of like there's no jobs in that and stuff. So
right, there's no jobs in that.
Yeah.
How would I become an archivist? It's like it sounds good in theory, but how do I do that? Beppis asks, "What's a personality disorder?" Cassandra answers, "What's a personality disorder? Mental illness." Well said.
Yeah. Well, I guess like I think the DSM criteria was like something that basically this is vaguely, it was like something that it's like pervasive symptoms that like negatively impact your life. So and it's like rigid. So it like even if you're medicated, they don't really change. Like it's right. A part of who you are basically. So some apparently some things you have to like there's a criteria for just personality disorders that you have to hit that criteria, and then you have to hit the criteria of the like let's say it's like schizoid personality disorder, then you'd have to hit the criteria for that to be diagnosed. But some of them are like are alone, I guess, from what I was reading. So But I guess there's really no point for like to even get a personality disorder, because you can just be if you have autism or schizophrenia, that's all the Church of Modern Medicine cares about. So the other stuff,
I like you using my term, the Church of Modern Medicine. Is exactly what this is. It's like a fucking
I told some of my friends about that. They thought it was funny.
Huh. Well, I'm glad I had that influence on people.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm winding down. Probably get something to eat pretty soon. I've appreciated you joining me.
Yeah.
You can stick around if you want. I'm gonna get something to eat or something because I'm getting.
I'm probably gonna go because it's late here. Even though I'm gonna eat.
Well, what time is it? Because it's 4:35 where I am. You're an hour behind.
Yeah,
it's same time zone.
Yeah.
4:35. We're you, me, and Aiden are in the same time zone. I do appreciate you joining.
Yeah,
Don't be a stranger. If you want, we can do another panel sometime because I do appreciate you coming on. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I could if I could get my sheet, I could read my report of all my it was basically just ADD, but I think there was some other stuff too. Maybe I could do that. But
all right. Well, don't be a stranger. Feel free to come on sometime in the future, and I appreciate you coming on. It's been a good stream.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it was nice talking.
Beppis agrees. It's been one of the more positive streams. More, this is a great talk. This is a great talk, Beppis says. I agree with her. This was one of the better streams. We enjoy talking to you, Mr. lolYuko.
Yeah, no problem. I'm not really like, I guess some people come on here and like they're like trolling. I'm not really like a trolly type of. I don't know if that's autism or I don't really like joke around about stuff that much.
No, you seem like a genuine, sincere person. That's why I think that's me too. I think that's why this dialogue went so well.
Yeah.
Between the two of us. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll see you, man. I'll probably still watch the stream, but
feel free to watch. I'm trying to get something to eat real quick, but if you can stick around. But thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it. Don't be a stranger. Feel free in the future to come back on. All right. All right, so that was lolYuko. I'm going to get something to eat. Yes, I'm going to be an asshole. Even though I haven't done it, I'm going to eat some of my mother's fish and potatoes. So I'm going to get that, and I'll be right back. You can watch me eat if you want. A mukbang. I don't know how many times that went around. Thank you for still with me. Went down, soaked some dishes. Wait, where's my? Here it is. My mother made some fried flounder, which I'm not really a seafood guy, but I love it when the thin fish with the breading. And my brother brought some home, and I wasn't going to eat any out of principle, but fuck it, I'm hungry, so I'm going to have some of my mother's fried flounder. I learned how to make this. I really enjoyed talking to lolYuko. Nice guy, very good, good discussion. So yes. That was cool. Nice kid. At the age of 26, he discovered what took me to my late 30s to figure out. So I'm happy. You guys can keep talking amongst yourselves while I eat my meal. Unless do you want to watch me eat, or should I? All right. Talk amongst yourselves and watch me eat. My mother's fried flounder. For all my criticisms of my mother, I've never criticized her cooking. She was a damn good cook. I was lucky. My mother was a good cook. Like I said, I'm not really a seafood guy, but it's very thin. It's mostly the breading you taste. And my mother was always a very good cook. I can't complain about her cooking. Yeah, I'm good. Ah, yes. It's summertime down under. Talk about whatever you want. I don't care. Plus, I think I need some alcohol food. I think I'm drunk. Plus the pills and this melatonin / L-theanine, whatever this is. This and the pills, I think, starting to catch up with me. You drink that beet, man. Beet juice, very healthy for you. Mm. Mm. Uh, now this bite, a bit thicker, tastes a little too it's like seawatery. What I like about my mother's flounder. It's so thin. She pounds it so thin, but that was a little too seawatery. You hate me, DBF? Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. I just got one last piece of fish. After I'm done, I'll see how I feel if I want to keep talking here. Mm. You're just watching me eat fish. DBF, when did you start drinking? Because it's what? About 9 o'clock in the evening there? Okay. Frumpy means you're not fat. You're not obese, but you're kind of plump. Frumpy is comparable to plump. Or sort of like, not the best shape in the world and kind of disheveled. Frumpy. Now, Dumb did bring up a good point. How Aiden's always like, Donda, you're my mommy. Yeah. I can't totally fault Dumb for being a bit wary of Aiden. Hmm. Still got a little fish left. I'm still with you for now. Wow. This is what the women folk think of you, Aiden. You get really weird in chat, but you seem like a nice guy when you call in. Bepis agrees with Cassandra. When you're talking on video, you seem reasonable and normal. But in chat, you seem like a fucking weirdo. They did that. That's how women see you, Aiden. A nice young man, except when you get weird in chat. Mm-hmm. I don't know who that is, but I'm getting full. I'm getting full. Who's Owen Benjamin? I'm getting full. I'm almost done. There's this last piece, last little bit. I'm full. I needed some beer food, some alcohol food. Mm. Owen Benjamin, some conspiracy theorist. Okay. I don't see a resemblance, but okay. Ah, yes. Oh, I see the resemblance here. This dude's a lot blonder than I ever was, but okay. I got mice. I got mice in my room, but oh well. Oh well. The hairline and maybe the brows. Okay. See, I think that guy and I both look very Belgian. He looks more Flemish. I look more Wallonian. So I think we both have a Belgian look, but he's more Flemish looking. I'm more Wallonian looking. Should I close that window? I bring it back up, but oh well. Oh, I'm getting tired. I'm nearing the end. This was a good stream. I'm glad I streamed. I'm winding down. Or do I want some ice cream? You want to watch me eat some ice cream? Do I go down and get a dish of ice cream? Maybe I should go down and get a dish of ice cream. Do I get a dish of ice cream? It's your call. As am I, Beppis. I'm glad he called in. Am I getting ice cream? Ugh. Still got a full thing of tea. That'll probably be my last. I agree. I don't see the resemblance at all. I don't see the resemblance at all, but okay. Oh, it's either vanilla with chocolate mint or I forget what the other one is. My brother got some ice cream a few days ago. I'll put some whipped cream and some sprinkles on it. I need to know now. We got one vote for yes. If I get a second vote, I'll get some ice cream. Because if it's chocolate, she'll watch. If it's vanilla, she won't watch. So it all makes a difference what ice cream it is. I'm gonna have ice cream regardless, whether you see it or not. So do you want to watch me, or do I kill this and eat ice cream? I'm eating ice cream regardless. How many times did that go through? I don't know. I don't know how many minutes that was. Oh, who cares? Anyway, the two ice creams. One was called chocolate chip, which is basically vanilla ice cream, these little chocolate little mint things I love. The other was called vanilla bean. Not as good as like French vanilla, but decent. So I mixed those two because I finished off the vanilla chocolate chip, and then I added some whipped cream and some chocolate sprinkles. See that? And some syrup, some chocolate syrup. So we got ice cream, vanilla chocolate chip plus vanilla bean, some whipped cream, chocolate syrup, and chocolate sprinkles. Now the question becomes, do you want to watch me eat this, or do I say goodnight and eat this? Because I'm going to eat this regardless. Do I eat this in front of you, or do I say goodnight and eat this? I'm not sure yet. Ah, yes, calories. Calories. Do I eat this off camera? What am I doing here? No one's giving me any direction. No one's giving me any direction for my ice cream. My all-American unhealthy ice cream that asshole Robert F. Kennedy Jr. wants to take away from us. Maybe I'll do that in the future. I'll just stream 24/7. When I'm not streaming, the timer will just be on. Well, Beppis has spoken. Beppis has spoken. You guys waited for me to get it, so of course you're going to watch me eat it. Okay. Delicious. And go out and get it. Yes, it is. It just, it's what's it called? Ready Whip. I don't know if they have that brand in Sweden. It's an American brand, Ready Whip. Let's see here. See if I can pull it up. One that I looking at. That may be the best I can do. Let's pull this up. Hold on. There we go. I don't know what this is. I just typed in Ready Whip. Don't look at me funny for this. I have no idea what this is. But shit. Basically, it looks something like this. This one here, the original Ready Whip. Psst. That's Ready Whip. Don't ask me about these little girls here on the side. I have no idea. Here we go. Ready Whip. Here we go. How do I open the fucking image? Well, that's kind of small, but that's what it is, that Ready Whip. There you go. The red one, original Ready Whip. Do they sell that in Sweden? Do you have that in your country? I'm already frumpy. I'm a frumpy dude. I don't think I'm fat. I'm probably technically overweight, but I'm definitely frumpy. Don't be upset because I called you frumpy. Jesus Christ. Very common whipped cream here in USA. Ready Whip. Very, very common. Probably not available in Sweden. Good. Damn good. Stop. Actually, didn't you say earlier that nobody would rape me in a psych ward because I'm so fucking ugly? You said I was too ugly to get raped, but now I'm a cutie. Okay, DBF. I don't think I'm his type, which is fine. Very commonplace in the USA. Any major grocery store anywhere in the country would have it, but I guess it's not exported to Europe. No. Whipped cream can spoil easily. It might not be. You really can't transport it across an ocean. It might spoil by the time it gets to Europe. So maybe that's why they don't export it. But it's delicious, and I hope this asshole Bobby Kennedy Jr. doesn't just mess with our food because ooh. So you guys just want to watch me eat? There's a lot of ice cream. Oof. Yep. And it's fucking delicious, man. God, is it delicious. Why are Americans so fat? Is it because we're all lazy? We all lack discipline? Or is it because our food, as bad as it is so fucking delicious compared to anywhere else in the world? God help me. It really is fucking delicious. Europeans and Australians who come here often say, wow, this is, sometimes they complain it's too sweet, but they're like, wow, this food is like, wow. Yeah, it is. Yeah, we're spoiled. It's bad for us, but American food, it's a junk industry, but it's fucking delicious. And that's any human being on earth would eventually agree. This is fucking delicious. I'm not going to answer that because I've answered that too many times, Lawrence. Someone else can tell you. You probably would be. It's very good, though. Damn, this is good. Is she upset? I think I referred to her as frumpy and she got upset. I think. I don't know. Why did she run away saying she was upset? I don't know. You know, ice cream headache. A little one. I didn't mean that in a bad way. Oh, God. I'm getting an ice cream headache. Oh, God. Oof. Okay. Subsiding. Whew. Yeah, Cass and I are cool. We're buddies. What about us? Yeah, but if you were an American, you wouldn't be fat. You'd just be frumpy, like me and Cass. Like me and Cassandra, you'd just be a frumpy. See, there you go. Yuko, very good talk. I'm glad you came on. I needed a food break, but thank you for coming on for as long as you did. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You like the way she works it. No diggity. You'd like to back it up. You like the way she works it. No diggity. You like to back it up. Backing up is a big thing for you, isn't it? Agreed. No need for any of us to feel insecure. I apologize. What was your question? Let me go back up here. You have to travel really far for. Is that your question? Why is Cass upset? I don't know, because I called her frumpy. You'd be obese if you live in the U.S. Maybe it didn't show up. Type it again, because I'm not seeing a question. Hmm. Fun talk. Agreed. Fun talk. I enjoyed it. Look at my ice cream. Whipped cream, Ready Whip, chocolate syrup, sprinkles, chocolate chip, vanilla ice cream. Well, it's hard to answer that question. I guess I'd want to live in a country that was English speaking. So England, Ireland, Australia, or even your Sweden, because I hear that Swedes have the highest rate of English speakers, even though it was never part of the British realm. So I'd want to live in a country that at least had the English as a normal-ish language. I don't think I'd want to live in a country where, because I think it's rude to insist others speak English for my behalf. But, and my Spanish, mi español es muy malo, mein Deutsch is sehr schlecht. I don't think I have any learn a language. So it have to be a country where English is either the main language or commonplace enough that I could speak it without, embarrassment. Wow. People still do that? That was popular when I was a teenager, but do people still put on with their rollerblades or their inline skates and go do some street hockey? Like I said, New Jersey is like England when it comes to guns. Sweden sounds like Pennsylvania when it comes to alcohol. In Pennsylvania, next state over, all the liquor stores are owned by the country. So Pennsylvania is like Sweden when it comes to alcohol. New Jersey is like England when it comes to guns. Well, there we go. There we go. Everyone speaks English. That's good. Ah, yes, those Laplanders, those Samis, they like their booze. They drink a lot. Hmm. I think he means slot machines. Slot machines. Right. I would call them slot machines. We got to teach DBF how to speak English properly. Yes, not poker machines or even jackpot machines. Slot machines. Slot machines. Put a coin in, pull it. Yeah, slot machines. Don't worry, DBF. You'll learn how to speak English properly by the time we're through. I'm getting tired, but ooh, this is good ice cream. I feel full now. I was hungry before. 3 pieces of my mother's fried flounder and this ice cream. Oh God, I'm getting full. No, I'm the slot machine. I'm eating my slop. Hey, Totem, before I say goodbye, you gonna come on and say hi to us? Totem never came on. We need Totem to come on. Mm. Good slop. I know. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm going to end the stream in a minute. We're all waiting on Totem here. No, I don't want you to call in. You've called in before. I don't want you to call in. You're exempt. I want new blood. We got lolYuko. Totem has never called in. He's never done his part. You've done your part. You're exempt. I don't care. In English, in the English language, they're called slot machines. Slot machines. Beppis, who doesn't even speak English as her first language, had no idea what the fuck you were talking about. It took me to say slot machines for her to understand. So you don't learn to speak English. Beppis speaks better English than you do, DBF. Almost done with my my ice cream slop. I think I'm getting off. I'm getting tired. Good slop. Oh shit, it's out of focus. Well, you're reading my mind. I do have almost a full cup of tea. Whoop. Full-ish. Full-ish. I was going to say the same thing. Do I finish my tea? I don't know. All right. I think I'm getting drunk and tired. I just spilled some precious tea. I gotta wash my hands. I'm a bit sticky. Yeah, screw you, asshole. Here you are, poker machines. And you got Beppis, a Swedish girl. What's a poker machine? Pokies. What? Slot machines. If the Swede understands what I'm saying, but doesn't understand what you're saying, you're not speaking English properly. Don't care. You can be arrogant, but you people don't speak English properly in Australia. You're down under poker machines. You sound like a fucking retard. There, I said it. I'll answer that question in a minute. Let me go. I gotta freshen up. And I'm very full now. 3 pieces of my mother's fish and a bowl of ice cream. Man. I think it was because of this. I'm not complaining, Beppis. Don't get offended. I don't know. It was the sound quality. It sounded like, all right. Hello. I'm here in Sweden. It's Christmas Eve. It sounded like the sound quality was off. Like that was spliced in. It didn't sound like a natural flow. And I'm not criticizing. I'm actually flattered. But it sounded like the all right was like a different, sound quality than the free-flowing dialogue. It's okay, Beppis. There's no judgment. Yes, dedication. She wanted to make sure that the all right sounded all right before adding it. That would be us. That would be us, my drunken friend. Stay thirsty, my friends. The most interesting man in the world. Okay. No, you didn't. You're older than I am. And when I first met you, you didn't know how to speak English. I had to teach you. So I invented it, and you learned from me. I'm Christ. You're John the Baptist. I baptized you. But yeah, you weren't speaking English when we first met. Poker machines. What a fucking asshole. I'm getting tired now. I don't think I have any to keep going. It's 5:30. Brother Click will be up soon. Christ. Yes. It's like the rest of my head on the microphone. See? Ugh. All right. Is that all we have for tonight? Time to end stream. I'm feeling tired. Thank you all for joining me. Maybe we'll do this again sometime before, I do want to do a New Year's Eve stream. I think I'm going to do a New Year's Eve stream, but all right. You're quite welcome. We'll do it again sometime. I promise. I promise. We'll do this again sometime. Well, let's see. New Year's Eve. You're 6 hours ahead, so it'll be January 1st for you. I'll probably start streaming sometime for us on the 31st. I might stream between now and then. Probably not. I'll stream like maybe an hour or so before midnight. I want to be streaming when the ball drops. I'll be streaming. So midnight for us, let's do the math, would be 6 a.m. You might still be asleep unless you stay up all night. You might be asleep. At midnight here would be 6 a.m. in Sweden, so you might not be there for it, but you can go back and watch it after the fact. I know it's the end when people start agreeing. Okay, time to say goodnight. Good night. Yes, thank you for the stream. Well, you'll be 3 hours, but Beppis is 6 hours ahead. Cassandra, you'll be back. You'll still be in California. You'll be like 3 hours behind me. If you're in Arizona, you'll be 2 hours behind me. So midnight for me would be like 9 o'clock on the West Coast. Yeah, but your New Year's Eve stream is like 14 hours ahead of mine, man. By the time it's midnight here, it'll be 4 o'clock in the afternoon, New Year's Day in Sydney. Well, go out and proffer up your pussy for some dude. You can lose your, All right.